Boom! And welcome to another episode of the Curious Cats podcast with me, Ricky Spears, and Chris Walton. I'm excited to share today's episode with you. We've got a great guest on in Kieran Keddle. Kieran is a three-time world Muay Thai champion. He's head of Double K Gym. He is CEO of Muay Thai Grand Prix. He is head coach at Elite Gym in Calgary, Elite Muay Thai, in Calgary. He's also known for training Idris in his documentary, The Fighter. That's a lot of titles, Kieran. You should calm down, geese. And I've also had the pleasure of training with Kieran myself back in, I don't know when it was. Back when he used to work at a gym called Semtex down near us in Kent. So had the pleasure of being trained by Kieran. He's a great guy. I find his drive and his kind of casual approach quite inspiring, really. And yeah, it was just a good chat. Hope you enjoy it as much as me and Chris did. Please enjoy Kieran Keddle. Thanks for coming on, and then jump straight into it, really, mate.
Yeah, go for it.
But it's probably, from like a few notes I've took, probably a good place to start with your own fight career, really, mate. I think is the best obvious place for me to start. What? How old was you when you first started fighting?
Well, first started training when I was 12, and then I didn't compete until I was 15.
All right.
The reason being is, what happened is my brother Alan was training in a university gym as such, because he was up there studying, and called up back home. I said to my mum, said, look, get Kieran into Thai boxing. He'll love it. Try and find a local club. Right. And because I know I enjoyed football, etc., etc. I was always like wanted to do. You know, if the team let down, I'd be upset. So I'd always blame myself as well. Yeah. So it was one of those sort of people. So I went along. A guy called Sean Toomey. It was in Alberton Leisure Centre, which is the Walnuts. I think it's still there.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah, still there.
Walnuts is.
Yeah, there you go. We had a little squash court, and it was just like that, you know. He brought a few pads along, gloves. Really? And then Sean Toomey. So I literally went once a week, twice a week. And didn't really take it that seriously. I enjoyed it, but it was just something to do. Yeah. Extra on busy schedule, that sort of life, I suppose, at age 12, 13. And then what happened is Alan came back from university and then took over the club. Sean left and moved out of London as such. It was called Lumpini Thai Boxing then. We then moved to Petswood. We called it Petswood Thai Boxing Club.
It's all still your brothers at this point?
Yeah. And then eventually it changed the name to Keddle's Gym, you know.
Yeah, right.
But my first fight when I was, I think I was just 15. Right. At York Hall.
York Hall, was it?
Bethnal Green.
So it's quite a big. Okay, it's quite a big first fight then. It wasn't.
Well, yeah. I suppose so. I mean, it was a novice fight with shin pads, you know. Yeah. I fought another guy called Kieran, funny enough, and I stopped him in the third round. So yeah. It was but to be honest, I still didn't take it seriously then. Really? It was just, you want to fight? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you know, train a couple of times a week. That was what I knew at the time.
Have you always took fighting fairly light like that? As in,
no. I had a few fights. It's really weird, especially that time, and it's not even really that long ago. But that time, you never really had full-time gyms like you've got now. I'm talking about fight gyms. Yeah. You literally had, what we used to do is go into hire a hall. Do it an hour before, set all the mats up, put bags up ourselves, and then the class would start, you know. And at the end of each class, everyone had to put everything away.
Yeah. Do you think that's just because it wasn't popular enough? Because I seem to remember that, but even early on, like go to a leisure centre and everyone's get some pads out.
Just judo classes.
Look at the rise of the last sort of 10 years. UFC is big, it's everywhere. Yeah. Your next door neighbour knows what MMA is, or cage fighting, they would call it. Yeah. Boxing's massive at the moment, especially. It's huge. Yeah. You know, that's boomed again. So there's a business now. Yeah. You've even got these 24-hour gyms. You know, they've got some sort of boxer size or some sort of boxing,
or even gym box is massive now as well.
Gym box speed. I think they've got 8 or 9 gyms in London.
Yeah.
Everywhere's got a bag. Everywhere's like, a lot of places have got a
and
ring.
it's changed. It's changed from like an underground sport to more white collar. Hence, white collar boxing's big.
Yeah.
So it's more acceptable for all ages and abilities to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the reason, really.
Yeah. So how old was you in your first ever fight?
15.
15.
Yeah, and then I didn't. Like I said, we're training 2-3 times a week. I won an English title when I was 16, and I beat the guy on points. And the guy from Birmingham at the time, I think I was just 16. He was 33. I'll never forget that.
Really?
And I really did. I don't look now, but I did then. Just looked like I was about 10, you know. So I won the final. It was good, you know. Loved it. The buzz. There was a big crowd there. It was down in Woodville Halls.
Yeah.
And in Gravesend, and then the next show after that, I started to get a little
33-year-old felt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I did want a rematch for a while as well, and then I remember that afterwards, and then training for the next fight, and then being at an event. People go, "Oh, Kieran, great fight last time." And I said, "Oh, well, not bad at this. Let's just see how this goes. Take it a bit more seriously." Train more, do all the, you know, just got more involved in it. Followed the sport as well, which you've got to do.
Having beaten someone who's double your age, at that point, did you think, "Yeah, I'm pretty handy at this"? Like you must have thought, because that isn't usual.
At that age, I think your mindset's so different. You don't have any responsibility, do you?
Just nothing to lose. You mean, yeah?
Yeah, I had nothing to lose. I just went in there and just fought, and I just didn't want to lose. You know, I just went in there and beat him. You know. And to be fair, if you're watching my style back then, and this is the whole of the UK, to be honest with you, is we just got as fit as we possibly could. There wasn't like now you have like you can get plans of sparring, but you know it depends who came in the gym. You just train and spar.
Yeah.
Now you've got like this day you do pads, this day you do sparring. Those times are just someone come in and just spar them. So and it's just try and beat them in any way possible. Punch, kick, knee.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand scoring so much. It was just basically who's the fittest and who's the strongest.
Yeah.
That's what happened then. So I just got myself as fit and strong as possible. Didn't really have much technical style. A bit rough and ready. And then that's how I won a lot of my earlier fights.
Just better conditioning, stronger.
And then I went to Holland for a bit of training. I saw a different side to it with technique. I think I was about 18. Went to a few gyms in Holland, in and out for a few years. They train very differently, very repetition drills. Combination drills. They call it Dutch drills, but it's a lot of gyms do it now. Yeah. Good conditioning for the body, and a short bursts. And then went to Thailand, and it's completely different. Again, it's a technique.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's more of a scoring, more of an art.
I got back from Thailand 10 days ago.
Okay,
I went out for to Tiger Muay Thai in Phuket.
Phuket.
Just for a week, just to sort of experience it. Mate, I couldn't believe how long they train for. And how hard they train when they're doing it compared to what I've done here.
Yeah, but it has changed. Westerners have changed it.
Really?
Because when I was younger, your sessions were 2 to 3 hours a time.
Yeah.
And now, because of people's like, I've got a job, I've got this responsibility, condense it all.
Right.
You know, all these new exercises that have come through, like Power Wave, T25, Insanity. They're all 20 minutes, 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
Again, that is try and get yourself as fit, as shredded as quickly as possible. As well, fighting really is an art, and you should put more time to it. But like you said, you know, when I was living in Thailand, especially, it was 3 hours morning, 3 to 4 hours in the evening.
Yeah.
And then you learn it. You learn. That's how you learn. You know, you don't just go crazy all the time.
Yeah.
Slow pace down, but it's the heat that takes it out.
It does make you realise that you've got a lot more in the tank. You know, sometimes when I'm training here and I do like half hour on the pads or just pad work with Mike, and I think I'm gassing like quite quick. But then when you haven't got a choice and everyone's doing it and that's just the norm, then you're like, oh, it's not. Yeah, of course I've got more in the tank.
Yeah.
Like, but the heat was, I mean, that drained me so quick.
When I first went over, I was going over for sort of 4 to 5 weeks training for a fight. The first time I went to Thailand I actually won it I took a fight on 4 days' notice against a Thai. I think it was 19. Just take it. And the promoter said, listen, I'll give you a flight to Thailand if you take the fight. Didn't think about money then, it's whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Blinding.
Flight
to Thailand, you know. So I went, you know, I had this fight as a Thai. I lost on points to him. he was just superior in the clinch, you know, and he knew the scoring more. I was saying about I used to try and tear their head off, and then I realised there's more to it after that when you get someone who's just skillful. Yeah. And the footwork and everything. So when I went to Thailand after that, that's the first time, and I went for 3 weeks, and then eventually started doing camps over there 4 to 6 weeks. Then you know, mid-20s, early 20s, started living there. Yeah. For longer periods. So.
Yeah. Is it still? Was there a lot of locals there this time training, or is it a lot more tourists?
I think that the camp that I went to is a bit more sort of westernised.
So you went to Tiger, yeah?
Yeah.
So Tiger is one of the first gyms in Thailand that is very commercial. Yeah. And I think Thais especially saw it as very popular, like we just talked about with MMA being big, people going over for training camps, a lot more people body conscious than ever before, you know. Yeah. And going to Thailand, and they realise it's not just for fighters. Yeah. You know,
I noticed that when I was there.
The gym I used to go to, Khao Rit, if you came in and you just turned up just for a bit of fitness, they're like, they wouldn't really train you properly. Yeah. If you're fighting, they're on you to focus. Then there was another market. They realised, hold on a second, we can make extra money from this. Yeah. I think Phuket is 51 Thai gyms.
Is there really?
51 Muay Thai gyms.
Well, the Chalong, where I was staying, it's just a street of Thai gyms, juice bars. There's no bar. You can't go out. No one goes out there.
You got AKA. You got Tiger.
Spartan.
Yeah, there's loads.
Unit 50.
Yeah, there's loads. Like I said, it's the last sort of 5 to 10 years. They've seen there's a market to fighters' gyms. That's great, but they're not the really big money. Now it's people like the everyday person going over there to train.
They're doing fat loss transformations, like retreats.
That never happened.
It's like a fitness retreat.
When I first went there, you'd never have heard of that.
No.
Never have heard of it. I think maybe an American influx as well over there.
Yeah. And like social media, that is so much. Yeah. It's a beautiful setting. It's a massive gym. Yeah. Like they've done a good job really there. Like the commercial side of it. I imagine
the gym I trained at was Khao Rit. It was a small little gym west of Bangkok. 2003, and I went with an ex-girlfriend of mine. She was fighting too, but they wouldn't let her. She was the first lady to train there, and they're all a bit funny about, no, I don't want to, I don't want to hold pads first. So we found a trainer for her, and she wasn't allowed in the ring either. Wow. Now, so no, that's against everything.
Was this 2004?
2003. This was. Wow. And as years went on, of course, even that gym they brought another side to it, Khao Rit, where they now appreciate that women do come over and compete. Yeah. You know, so they just now it's like normal now, like women in the gym training for fights.
Yeah. Or foreign women, though, not Thai.
Foreign women, yeah. You don't get, to be fair, the foreign women are actually a level above the Thai fighters. Yeah. The Thai women fighters, yeah. Because
there is still Thai women.
Yeah, there is still. Yeah, there's been some good ones. Don't get me wrong. It's just because their culture is especially with females is very different to what ours is. You know, it's accepted. You know, women train and do all sports. Yeah. In the West world, anyway. Yeah, definitely. Over in Asia, it's sort of only accepted over the last 5-10 years, really. Yeah. You know. Yeah. There wasn't many female fighters. There's a few more now. Yeah.
So when did you actually make an active decision at some point? Right, I'm done competing now. Hang your gloves up, sort of thing, or was it a natural kind of progression, or?
Well, I was always coaching. Anyway, you know, to make ends meet, make some money as well. The first passion is fighting. However, what was happening is there was a lot of fighters coming over from other gyms, training with me, sparring, moving around, etc. The name grew, Keddle's Gym grew at the time. Yeah. And it's very, very hard to have your own gym and fight as well. Yeah, because you have to. With fighting, I don't know about other sports as such. I'll just go about what I know. Is if you're a fighter, you have to be the most selfish person on the planet. Yeah. You really do. You have to put yourself first. And if you ever speak to my mum, about a week before a fight, I was the most miserable fucker ever.
Yeah. Absolutely. Pretty common though, right?
Really common. Because I'm cutting weight, you know, and everything's important. Everything's important. You number one in life is the fight. Yeah. That's all it is. Yeah. And it means and that's how it should be, really. When you become a coach, it's not important. Yeah. What's important is the fighter. So you can't be selfish anymore. Yeah. You understand? But when you've got 10, 11, 12 fighters, you've got to try and spread it out a little bit.
Spread the love.
Yeah, it is spread the love, but you can't. So you're not number one anymore. I still don't know. I mean, you ever see some fighters that have got their own gym and still compete? Their level is never as good. Right. because they've got more responsibility.
More distractions.
Yeah, absolutely that.
Yeah.
I always say to every guy I've ever trained, whoever wants to open up their own gym, make sure you finish with your fighting first. Because I tried it, and it backfires. You know, and then your condition's not the same. You think, I need to train this guy because he's got a fight coming up, and then you end up missing a session yourself.
Yeah. Were you not quite young to be stopping?
30, I finished. It was quite young. It was just. I felt.
How old are you now?
37. Right. So I felt at the time I'd done what I wanted to do. You always want to do more.
Yeah, of course.
A fighter will always want to do more, no matter what level they are. But I'd done enough, and I had a lot of fights coming through, and I couldn't spread it.
Yeah.
The last fight, I'll tell you what actually happened is I had the fight before that. I lost. I used to own a business in Greenwich, which is a restaurant, and I tried to balance everything. We've all done this, tried to juggle too much, and I didn't take the training seriously. Yeah. First time ever. Didn't take it seriously. I just thought this would be fine. I'll be all right.
Turn up on the day.
Through stress, I was actually making weight because I had this bar that was going under, and I was having trouble with that, and all the nights, etc. And I made the weight. Not even through dieting, just through stress. It's easy. Right. I can do this. Training 3 times a week, but you're training against a guy that's training twice a day, for 6 days a week for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I just felt better than him. Anyway, so I lost, fair and square. I was injured, everything.
Was it points loss? Or?
Points loss, yeah, but I was just awful.
Right.
It was the worst you've ever seen me fight.
Really?
And I come back to it, and I was thinking about finishing around then.
You're 30 at this time?
Yeah, maybe 29 or 30.
Right.
And I just turned around to one of the coaches there and just said, I think I've done. That's it. I can't dedicate time, and I need to dedicate time.
Yeah.
Because if I came back, let's just say I came back fighting now, I'm going to fight someone who's trained 6 days a week, twice, like I just said.
Yeah.
And they're going to rip your head off. I'm not going to come back against someone who trains a couple of times a week.
Yeah, right.
So I had to think about it when I can't go out on a loss. I can't go out, or I can't go out on a performance like that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I said, right, everyone else is getting put number 2, and I did a 10-week camp from literally January, and then I had a retirement fight.
This was in Orpington.
Swanley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember that.
I just went.
So you trained at Semtex?
Yeah, I trained at Semtex. Right, with Steve. Yeah, and then I had the last fight there against a French champion who was a 2-time world champion as well. So he was, it was a good fight, a close fight, but I won on points. But it was an absolute war. But I gave it everything, and afterwards I went. Unless I can train like that again, it's impossible.
Yeah. Do you miss it?
Yeah, well, you're always going to miss it.
But do you feel like you get the same, not the same rush, but where you've got this like stable of quality fighters that you're coaching?
I still get nervous.
Do you still go through the motions?
When you've been training people for a long time, they become past the student, become your friend as well.
Yeah.
So when you corner them and they've got a big fight coming up and you've been training them for 8-10 weeks or something like that, and it's a particularly important fight, you get nervous with them.
Yeah.
It's never the same, but your nerves when you're fighting you're in control. So it's your fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when it's someone else fighting, you're not in control. You're giving them a game plan, but it's like it's very difficult,
Yeah, I bet.
Must be harder in one respect.
It is harder. It is a hell of a lot harder, I think.
Yeah. Can't help them once they're in. It's quite a lonely place inside that ring.
It's down to them then. Yeah.
Is there one fight in particular that stands out as your best performance, like where you really turned up?
Yes. So what happened is I was competing at 66.6 kilo welterweight division.
Yeah.
In Thai boxing, and I had a little dabble so I was making the weight pretty easy.
You dropped weight, didn't you?
Yeah, and I dropped weight
Right.
to 63.5. I looked horrendous. My eyes were about that huge. I looked like an ant head. Anyway, but I was actually, to be fair, I had about 5 or 6 fights at this weight. Well, when I was in Thailand, you can just drop the weight easier, look after yourself, maintain, sleep at the right time, eat properly, So I had about 5 or 6 fights. I was undefeated at that weight as well. And I thought, there's this Russian fighter called Andrei Kotzer, and he was very good, 3-time world champion. IFMA Games, which is an amateur games, which is like basically the Olympics as such. Gold medalist, very, very good. Belarusian, strong, technical. So the fight against him, we actually fought at the K2 Leisure Centre in Crawley. And for me, I just, everything came together. I'd been in Thailand training, come over. He had just knocked out the UK number 2 at the time. It was a bit of a name. Had a good reputation. I've been out of Thailand, so I haven't really fought in the UK much. I've just come back, and performance against him is probably my best, I think.
So you're a full-time fighter at this point. You didn't have a job as well, or you did?
Yeah, full time. Yeah,
Right.
I had sponsors, and I would fight over in Thailand just to sort of everything's relevant, you know.
Yeah.
The training's pretty cheap, so and I'm not one to have. I never have been, and never will be one to be flash with cars or jewellery or clothes, whatever.
Yeah.
So I wanted to fight and have as many fights as possible.
Did you get? I mean, I'm not sure how it works, but did you have like a schedule of fights, or did people just like you get a promoter come up and say we've got to fight 2 days? Deal
That
or no
happens
deal?
sometimes in Thailand. This is the difference, especially in Thailand, over to what we know with boxing, where when they get to like the high end, they only fight twice a year. Like Joshua fights twice a year, you know.
Yeah.
And they know this is roughly the dates you're going to be fighting.
Yeah.
In Thailand, like you just said, even high level fighters, they'll say, "I've got to fight for you in 3 days." You
It
want to
strikes me as they're quite casual with it. Like
Yeah,
they
just
just love
every day.
fighting, don't
It's
they?
an everyday thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
It's
like
their
the
culture.
kids. When I noticed the kids out there who are, like look young, when we see them when they were sparring and hitting pads, they were like technically
Incredible.
incredible, and
Incredible.
they're like 8, 9 years old.
Scary little human.
Yeah,
They are, you know.
mate, it scared the
There's-
shit out of me. One of them was smashing pads. I thought he definitely would have ironed me out.
But, you know, a lot of, yeah, it's true. But a lot of them, like the 9, 10, 11, they've had
Yeah.
100 fights, 120 fights, you know.
Yeah,
That's mental.
And you
but
got to
that's
remember,
like their
there's no
Sunday
padding.
league football,
Yeah,
isn't
There's
it?
no
right.
padding. No,
Headgear?
that's 5 rounds, 3 minutes, you know.
No
bare
headgear
shin.
either.
No headgear, no.
Shit.
No headgear. But the sport is very different. It's a dangerous sport, don't get me wrong. But it's very different, as in, especially when they're that young, a lot of the blows and attacks are kicks to the body or knees to the body. It's because it's a lot to do with gambling and scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They try not to. It's really like their mindset is very different. What we got to understand is over there is sometimes they don't have a choice. That is what they've got
Yeah.
to do. But if you fight often and regularly, you make more money for the family.
yeah.
In the UK, it's these big build-up. Do you know what I mean? I fight 3 times a year. I fight 3 times in a month. You know,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, they need to put money
Yeah, they need to
to
put
their
food on
family.
the table.
So
yeah.
how they fight a lot of these, especially the young ones, how they fight is just to win on points without getting hurt.
Right.
So
see,
then
yeah.
it becomes an art, more of a style, you know.
Okay.
Got it.
Right.
When we watch his West is getting there, knock him out, everything like that.
Fucking
No,
kill
no.
him.
They don't. They want to come out fighting injured, so maybe get a cool fight tomorrow,
Yeah.
and then that's
Right.
more money for their family. See,
So how do they
Different
get? How's the payments work then?
all different. You know,
Right.
you get gamblers' tips. They obviously get a fight purse.
Yeah.
Percentages goes to the gyms, all different deals. They've got managers, blah blah blah. Everything's different. Every gym I've known is different.
Ah, right. Okay.
Most of the time, if the fighter lives on site, they get fed twice a day and get trained twice a day. It usually goes 50-50. Some gyms that are very good gyms, like Council Mid, for example, they actually send them to schools as well, so they've got an education.
Wow.
And then they take 50-50 of the money, and it's like a gamble anyway. 'Cause
Yeah.
potentially a fighter could come through and not be any good.
Yeah.
You get another fighter comes through, they're gambling on him, and he's
Yeah,
one punch
yeah.
away from earning a lot of money
Yeah.
for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
So as it stands now, who's I know you've got some seriously tasty fighters that
Mhm.
you're training. Who's looking sort of top of the field in your weight class now? Who's sort of taken over the mantle?
Well, it's going to be decided on July the 7th.
Oh, and is it Charlie Peters?
That's
and
right,
Liam
and Liam Harrison, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
shit.
Good fight.
Liam's
No,
been
that was
number one
happening.
for about 10 years now. He was actually the weight below that over the years, you know.
I actually listened to Liam Harrison on the that really little known podcast, Joe Rogan, is it?
Oh, that
yeah.
little pecker,
yeah.
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 No, it was brilliant. That was, to be fair, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant podcast.
Yeah, it was good.
And Liam's now the star, you know, of the UK. Sort of how our boundaries push. You know, when we were about, and there's a few other guys around at the time. We were in leisure centres, etc., nightclubs on a Sunday. You know, when they're closed, and that's the events. Now they're starting to get a little bit more well known. Start to get television deals, live stream deals.
Yeah.
He's now really plugged into social media.
Yeah.
He's doing seminars around the world. So he's, as he said on the podcast, he's a product.
Yeah.
So he's the number one in the country, and he's leading the way now for the young starlets to come through.
Mm.
So it's a big fight, you know. Charlie's up and coming, but he's beaten most of the people below him over the rankings over the years, you know.
Yeah.
So they were
That's,
due
sorry,
to
that's
me.
the Charlie that's from your gym?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So that's a bit of a grudge match. It's been sort of in the making for about a year and a half.
Mm.
Various different reasons, injuries and other bookings for fights. So yeah, July 7th.
Where is it?
Indigo at the O2. Muay Thai Grand Prix. So
where can people get tickets for that? Is that still they still selling?
Yeah,
tickets
yeah.
for it?
AXS.com. You can buy tickets, or any of the fighters on the Charlie himself, or Liam himself can get tickets.
I'm gonna be there.
It's a big event,
Yeah.
It's a big event. It's quite well talked about.
Yeah.
Not just social media, just in all the gyms, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's finally happening July 7th. So
How many rounds is it?
5 rounds, 3 minutes.
Right.
So-
Is that standard now?
Standard, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Standard.
It's enough.
You do get,
It's enough.
yeah, no, you do, that, even like I said, even Thailand's changed. That's the traditional 5 rounds, 3 minutes. But
Yeah.
now you are getting tournaments where they're doing 3 rounds of 3 minutes.
Right.
For various different reasons. For 8-man tournaments, so they can get more fights in the night. If you've got a television show of 2 hours, if you do 5 3-minute rounds, let's say potentially you have 5 fights on 2 hours. If you do 3 threes, you can probably get 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So there's more exposure. You can get more countries involved.
More money, basically.
More money, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's all different format. Plus 3 rounds sometimes, especially in Thailand. They start a little bit slower, round 1 and 2, and then they pick the pace up. But 3 rounds, you just have to go from the off.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Kieran, when obviously you were doing, when you were really actively competing,
Yep.
MMA, as it's known now, wasn't really the same animal that it is, right?
Yeah.
Had you been doing that 5-10 years later, do you think you'd have had, or did you ever have an MMA fight? I don't know.
No, I never had an MMA fight. But a small story, which is quite funny, is I was about 27. I thought, have a little go, have a little go. Because I was contemplating what to do with my fight career, I was back in England at that time, going to Thailand every now and then, but not as the career there had finished,
Right.
Yeah.
what to do. So I spoke to this guy called Rob, and he said, "Oh, right, I'll set you up with this Brazilian dude called Leo Nagel. You'll love him. He appreciates Thai boxing." Because my thing was, in my theory in my head at that time was, keep standing. If I can get a coach and get me back on my feet and do escapes, then maybe I've got to do something, just something different.
Yeah. Yeah. A bit of a sprawl.
So I met Leo in Bethnal Green, and he's absolutely crazy, but he's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
I don't know half what he says. Every other word I don't know what he's saying, but still. And we trained about 3 or 4 months. I did some. He brought in Brad Pickett, so I did some sparring with him at the time. A few other guys, Brazilians, were just taking me down left, right, and centre.
Just for people that don't know, is Leo a jiu-jitsu coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
A Brazilian.
BJJ.
Yeah. Big dude as well. 95 kilos or something like that. And he was really good. I enjoyed his way of teaching. It's very full on. It was all the escapes, keeping me standing. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Still friends now, actually. He's floating about somewhere in different gyms. Is how he is. And so one day I was knocked on the door of Bethnal Green. No one there. A couple of people turned up for the class. No one there. I was like, what's happened here? Like, tried to call him. The phone's completely dead. Didn't think much of it. I don't know what's that. It's really weird. He'd never missed. And like, even though I was only known him for a few months, we've become really good friends. He's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
And then, so I went back, and it was a forum at the time. Does anyone know Leo Nagel? Someone put on there.
Right.
And he'd been deported. So yeah, that was something to do with paperwork or something like that. And then I did try a couple of other gyms.
It's a good excuse to not be
Yeah.
there, to be fair.
Yeah. I did try a couple of other gyms, but it just didn't work out. I didn't feel the same connection.
That bond,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and I got an offer for another Thai boxing fight and took that.
Stick with what you know, sort of thing.
Yeah. It's about I enjoyed that very small dabble with it.
Yeah.
And then, funny enough, a year later, maybe 15 months later, he actually came back to the UK. And one of his first phone calls was to me as soon as he got off the plane. Hey, what are you doing? Like, I said, I'm Victor Thai boxing. No, like that. But, yeah, but
Is
so
he Mexican or?
yeah, no, yeah, he's Mexican Brazilian. Yeah.
Right.
He had to go through the borders of Mexico. I guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's been there for 18 months, Rick.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, that's my dad with MMA. But looking back, maybe I would have. It's a big sport now. Because also UFC's American, that's what makes it so big. Everyone in America, especially the fighters, they're all connected. Like they're all media trained.
Yeah.
every MMA fight, especially in America, like they're all media trained.
Yeah.
So they know how to share, retweet, how to word things. And of course, UFC itself just boomed into something ridiculously big.
Yeah.
You know, with weekly shows now and
I
everyone
mean,
around
there is
You've got celebrities
yeah.
going to the fights now. You know, they've invested heavily in it and it's paid off. You know,
Yeah.
there were lots of people who've invested in promotions and not paid off.
Yeah.
That one has. You know,
There is a lot of chatter that they're at a bit of a weird point now. Now they've lost all their big names, from Brock Lesnar to Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey and all their massive.
yeah, but that's not anything. You know, like you said, like a football club, for example, like Man United. You know, they were reigning for so long, and eventually all the players retire, get old,
Yeah.
and then you have to just have a couple of years where they could sleep a little bit. You know,
Rebuild.
come back, rebuild.
Yeah.
And I think that's how that's going.
Yeah.
They've still got some good fighters in it. It's a very different sport to what it was 10 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's more corporate now. It's a lot more clean cut.
If you look back at the early UFC fight, like UFC like 1 to sort of 20, 25, I mean, that is crazy to watch some of them.
mental.
Oh, yeah.
You've got like one guy's in a gi,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
other guy's
The
like
other
rolling
guy
about.
looks like a sumo wrestler.
Yeah, different weights, like
And that, it shows how much it's evolved, though, over
Yeah.
20 odd years, you know. It's crazy. Like you said, one had one discipline, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then you had a couple doing a couple of disciplines. Now it's just a complete discipline.
now
isn't it?
everyone's got everything.
Yeah.
It's funny though if you say to people who it's still not as accepted as you would think. In that, if you were to say to someone, "I'm having an MMA fight,"
Yeah.
someone who knows what that is, it's like that's acceptable. But then you've got people who are sort of out of that loop of knowledge who say, "Oh, that's a cage fight, like,
Yeah.
Animals.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?"
All the
And no
blood.
one really understands
No.
unless they understand. That,
Well, I've said
about
from
the
day one,
discipline and
it's actually the safest sport.
oh, really? Yeah, I mean,
100%. If you look at boxing,
MMA.
MMA is the safest sport of the lot. It's an actual fact. I'll tell you why. You might, and a lot of people don't realise that. I'll tell you why. In boxing, your training is where you do a lot of damage and injuries. Right. So in boxing,
Sparring.
you're sparring, yeah. You concentrate on two things: the body and the head. So your impact is there. You just concentrate on that. That's what you're doing in boxing. And then you drain the weight, and then then you fight it. And obviously, you're just getting your head punched off. Now, if you get knocked down in boxing, you get an 8 count. You get back up again.
Yeah.
And then you fight. MMA, you get knocked down, boom, they get on top of you, boom, it's over. It's finished. You don't get another chance.
yeah,
And then the training side of MMA is you have to do everything, don't you? You can't just box spar. So you might box spar once a week. And then you might have to do wrestling. So you actually avoid less shots to the body
Yeah.
and head. Just going into boxing then, most boxers, not all, have got big amateur careers. So they've been boxing from kids, taking all these headshots and bush shots. So it's a hell of a lot harder sport in terms to the body and a hell of a lot more dangerous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
would I be? I'm not sure if this is true or not, but whether I've heard this and then just subsequently believed it, which I do a lot. And that is that where the gloves are quite a bit bigger in a boxing fight, and you're being repeatedly hit to the head. That's quite a lot of lower impact but more regular shots. Whereas if you get hit in the jaw with an MMA glove, quite often you go to bed.
Yeah, they go sleep, they're out.
Yeah,
That's it.
So
Yeah.
it's not like you're taking a constant battering. So I presume that would make a big difference over like the course of a career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of the, especially boxers from sort of 10 plus years ago, they didn't really have. A lot of boxers now are world champions by the time they've had 20, 25 fights. I'm not saying they haven't had amateur careers, etc. But back those days when you're like, let's do an example, like Duran, Hagler, all of that, they had 50, 60, 70 fights and they were fighting 5-6 times a year, 15 rounds. The gloves were nowhere near like they are now. And the training was so different. You just sparred all the time and the best survived, Yeah. Nowadays, it's a hell of a lot more scientific approach. The person off the street knows more about dieting than ever before. I'm not saying it's correct, but they know a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
And they compete a hell of a lot less. They compete a hell of a lot less than they ever did before.
Yeah. Are you aware of that when you're getting fighters ready now in terms of how much sparring they're going to do and how much they need to do, but protecting them from obviously the trauma and stuff as well?
It's a very difficult one because no matter what, when you come into a gym and you want to compete, you have to accept you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
Right? I cannot guarantee you that you're not going to not get hurt.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
The best fighters in the world all got hit. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
I will try everything possible to make it as safe as possible, but the realistic is, you are going to get hit.
Yeah.
You are going to get injured from time to time. And touch wood, throughout teaching of 20 years or something, I've very rarely see a bad injury.
Yeah.
You know? So, like as a part of my own students, you know, you hear about the boxer recently dying. You know,
young lads. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but there was he actually was at our gym and then immigrated to Australia. There's a guy called Mark Fowler.
Right.
And he had about 5, 6, 7 fights for Keddle's gym at the time. Lovely man. And he went to Australia to travel, came back and said, I'm going to immigrate there. Can you help us find a gym over there? Because he loved Thai boxing.
Yeah.
Went over to Australia. He actually won an Australian title. And then he was about 33, 34. This is about 4 or 5 years ago, I think now. He had a fight. I was actually in Macedonia and I was just going, how's he getting on? You know, like, it'd been gone a few years, but you always find out through social media how's he getting on. And what happened is he'd had his fight, he lost his belt, and he got into the changing room and gone up to the bar, had a drink with the guy apparently. He said, went back to the changing room and then just started speaking. He said, boom, passed out. And then I got a phone call to say Mark's in hospital. He's collapsed after the fight, and I thought, keep me updated. And then the next day, he passed away.
Fucking hell.
I know. So, but it's a really weird thing is, I wanted to give up. It's funny because I wasn't training for 5 years or something, 4 years, been in another gym, but I thought, well, I can't put, you know, I couldn't myself, that could happen to one of my students, and how would you feel from that?
Yeah, right.
You know? But at the end of the day, same when I used to fight, these things can happen.
Yeah, well, if you go and look at the statistics, it actually means fuck all. It's like you're at more risk every time we go and get in our car.
Absolutely. Motorsports must have just as much.
Not in your car, mate. You drive about 15 miles an hour.
Well, I'm perfectly safe, but most people.
No, but it's true. You know, there's loads of sports where there's injuries and deaths, etc., etc. But that was just obviously, hopefully, never happens again. You know, so.
Yeah, I guess ultimately it is like a fight. It is the fight business, though, isn't it? And there's always going to be that element of danger. When you were fighting, and you were, I don't. The only reason I say this is that when I was training recently, and I've recently had like a white collar MMA fight.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, last week, in fact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I went over to Thailand, did some training. I just wanted a different challenge.
Yeah. And
one thing I noticed is that, and this is weird, it might just be me, but being punched in the face, it's quite nice. Like there's an element to it that's quite nice. Right, and I don't mean, I maybe perhaps I haven't been hit but there's a guilty pleasure in like having a like proper.
Everyone
punch
reacts
up.
different to punching. Some people they need to get punched to get going. Some people like they get hit and they smile and they go, yeah, I like that. Other people get hit and they go, what the fuck was that? You know, like it's everybody's different to how they react. There's some people that they get conditioned to get used to being hit, and some people are just used to being hit.
What person were you?
I didn't care.
You didn't care.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Did you when you were younger? Did you just like fighting anyway, and then that's why? Like,
well, you know, I've got 3 older brothers. So, you know, you always used to muck around and give each other digs under the table and stuff like that. Yeah, just you know, you get used to that. Competitive nature happens when I was the youngest too, so it's competitive nature.
Right.
So maybe, but you know, but we did a lot of sparring, so you get used to it. Also.
Yeah. There's a bit of conditioning there.
Yeah, a bit of conditioning, taking shots as well.
Have you ever been like, taken a shot and thought, and like properly wobbled you, and you thought that's the hardest I've been hit?
I never got knocked out. I got put on my arse when I was 15 in a under 16 fight. First round, literally touch guard, blah 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 blah. Had a head guard on, and I literally didn't feel anything. And I was like, what are these lights doing? And I got up, and I was like, he didn't put me down. I'm not having that.
Really?
You know, I'm not having that. Like,
you didn't believe that?
No, I didn't believe it. And after the fight, I was like, I didn't get put down. No, he did. He got put down. Oh, and that didn't happen, did it? But that was, so that was, but that didn't hurt. It was just pinpoint accuracy, really.
Just on the button.
Yeah, but after that, I had a good chin, so I never really, I mean, you'd feel it, but I'd always be standing as such, you know, so I was...
No one knocked you out?
Nope.
In how many fights?
78.
Jesus.
That's pretty good going, mate.
Yeah.
Done all right there.
Yeah, I did all right. I got stopped a couple of times by cuts and stuff like that. But
like elbows or...
Yeah.
So what happened in the fight that you got put down? You went on to
That was the one I just told you about.
He didn't get put down, Rick. He didn't get put down.
Oh, yeah, put down. They get put down. I've actually had that. Funny enough, we talked about him earlier. It's Rob Story.
Yeah.
So Rob fought in Watford.
Rob
Story, his name is.
Oh, okay.
He's finished fighting now. He's one of my good mates, and I was in the corner for him. I forgot who he fought. He got put down with a head kick. Right. He come back to the corner. I'll never forget it. And he sat in the corner, and I'm icing his legs, and Alan's giving him some advice. And Alan goes, right, listen, you got to put down, but it doesn't matter. And Rob went, I didn't get put down. And I was icing his legs, and I was thinking, what do I say here? And he looked at me and went, he still does. Boy, did I get put down? Nah, he didn't get put down. He said, what's he going on about? My icing his legs goes, shh. Comes back for round, whatever the next round is, come down. He's still thinking about it. Did I get put down? I went, yeah. But he got up, like, you know. But yeah, you just sometimes don't. It doesn't necessarily to be hard to get knocked down. It's just that accurate shot. It was actually a head kick he took. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always like the most powerful shot.
But sometimes, like even I think sparring you get hurt the most. In sparring, I've been hit with some big shots, and you see the stars, etc.
Yeah.
And you just go, geez, because it's a bit more relaxed as well.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess there's not as much adrenaline.
No, that's it. A lot of times you're sparring people you know in the gym. So just boom, you take a few days, you go, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck? But that's just part of it, you know. And
one thing I also wanted to ask you about was your like nutrition. This is a bit more of a like sort of intrigue from my point of view with what we do here. Is nutrition, as you mentioned earlier, seems to have come on such a long way now. Every man, his dog, knows how to eat well. I think everyone knows how to eat well. But when you were, preparing for your fights and making weight, were you following a nutrition plan or were you just going old school? And
I was actually just talking to it about it quite a lot over the last year. It's gone crazy.
Yeah.
It's gone crazy. Like, now you're getting food preps. So many companies doing food preps.
Yeah.
So many, and all these fighters are getting, well, not just fighters, athletes are getting signed to them and sponsored by them to get the right nutrition for whatever it is you're doing. And then you're getting so much advice from social media about what's right for you, what's wrong for you, what caught, I didn't know. We didn't know anything about it. We just literally... It's the weight you got to make. Oh, I better train in sweatsuit for 2 weeks before the fight. Don't eat much.
Yeah.
Don't eat much bread. Hey. Eat the crust though, because they're good for you. That's what you got told. Like, you didn't know. It's so true. Like, and then like 2 days before the fight, I don't eat anything. Just get your sweats up on. Ask Michael Showers about it.
He's just mentioned it. That's why one of the reasons I brought it up.
Michael Showers about it. Is Michael Showers used to sleep in a sweatsuit the night before weighing.
Really?
So then he'd get up, be sweating. Complete sweat. Yeah, made the weight. How dangerous is that? But we didn't know.
Yeah.
We were in saunas, like I was training in sweatsuits for weeks before a fight. And then the worst thing. After a fight, after the weigh-in, we'd go like McDonald's or something. But we didn't know any different. Yeah, go McDonald's quickly. Get a burger in you, it'd be good for you. You'll have one for a week.
Yeah.
Really different.
I've eaten for 3 days.
Yeah, but it's your mindset. You just didn't know.
Yeah.
You just make the weight.
Yeah.
However, another thing as well about those times is you never used to, I never used to blow up much between fight camps.
Right, yeah.
I used to be like between sort of 4 and 6 kilos above fight weight.
Right.
Now, because of this is the bad side to it, of the nutrition nowadays, is people blow up. It's where MMA also has got big say in it, because MMA's weight divisions are 77 kilos welterweight and middleweight's 84 is huge. Some people are really cutting down into these weights.
Yeah.
Now I know people who lose 15, 20 kilos. So it doesn't become a fight camp, it becomes a fat camp.
Yeah.
They're eating well to get down to that weight, and then afterwards they're just blowing up to huge.
Yeah.
But I was always between 4 and 6 kilos. And if I ever felt a bit heavy, I'd make sure I get down for that.
Did you ever not make weight?
Once. Probably one of the biggest regrets.
Really?
Yeah, it was a mistake. It's a mistake. I never, ever... My thing is never blame other people, take it on yourself, so it's my fault. I got told about a weigh-in, so we flew to Italy. It was going to be for a world title in Italy. And I got there, big promotion too. I got there and I was 1.8 kilos over the fight weight. I just thought it was provisional weigh-in. and I can come back later on in the afternoon.
Right.
They went, no, this is the way, and you've got 2 hours now to lose the weight. Now, I was pretty dry, yeah, but I just thought, I've got 10, 12 hours, I can do it pretty slowly. So I went, I'm in Italy, by the way, so I went, right, where's there a sauna? The manager went, I don't think there's a sauna. I was like, so I went to the promoter, I needed to find a sauna. He went, try and find one. So we went literally around Milan, hours upon hours. I missed the scales, you know.
Right.
So we found a sauna, but it was the worst sauna ever. Right. We went in there, and just couldn't get sweat. So I came back, and I was about a kilo over now. Right. So we tried to negotiate to make the fight happen, but they didn't want to take it.
Really?
So the fight was completely off. So I flew to Italy, and that was it.
Shit.
Yeah. And it cancelled. You didn't fight?
No, it didn't count. It was well guided. It's my fault. We tried everything. Like, I'll wear heavier gloves. You can take all my fight money. I wasn't fussed about that.
Even offered him that. He was like, no.
No, I just didn't want to do it.
He was a kilo over.
Yeah.
Shame.
I was naturally bigger than him anyway. He knew that. It's my mistake and my miscalculation. So.
Yeah.
But it's a regret. But.
Yeah.
Look, you're going to fight so many times. It's not always going to be.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And people have got to get used to that. It's when people come to the gym, they see when they go to a show, especially, and they get a phone call. I went to that show. I want to be a fighter. Okay, cool. Come along. All they see is your hand raised, and all the afterwards and having a good time afterwards. But they forget about the grit.
Yeah.
What you got to go through for the camp beforehand. Yeah. And even to get to that level, sometimes you've got to do all these little winter clubs, amateur fights.
The sacrifice.
Absolutely.
At an age when
your
you
life's got to
want to
change.
be going out and stuff. And
your life's got to change.
Yeah, it's massive.
If you want to do, like in anything, I suppose, your life has got to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does provide a nice narrative for people to sort of follow that path. Like, I'm a fighter and, this is what I do each week and I train day in, day out. But then actually, like, the story and then the actual reality is probably quite a lot. There's probably quite a big difference there.
I've had emails and messages from social media over years and people going, I want to come down to the gym, I want to be a fighter. Yeah, I've had this street fight. I was like, I always said the message, that's not what this is. Yeah. This is totally different. In fact, what you'll find is a lot of the fighters that they could never fight in the street. But they wouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
They're not those people, and they're coming here and it's really, I definitely can fight. Oh, you need to put the training in. And they're, no, I want to come in, I want to do sparring. Okay, come in for sparring. So they come in for sparring, and they literally get jabbed to the head, and the whole demeanour changes. Like we just talked about, it's like, what is that? Yeah. And all of a sudden, well, maybe, and you don't see him again anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But this is how it is now.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a time where someone's walked into the gym, just one of these people, and they've walked in and then they've started training, you thought they've got what it takes? Like, do you I mean, you've been doing this for a long time now. Do you see people and you can just tell straight away whether they've got it?
Yeah. You know what? Quite a lot you see it.
Right.
I mean, obviously over time you're going to really tell. But you see some people just got natural talent, But for me, it's all good having the skills, etc., but you just need that bit more, which is you need to be training all the time.
Yeah.
Like you said a bit earlier, you don't go out. I actually even had a thing once because we were taking 2 lads to Holland in January once. They were fighting like January 15th or something. And I messaged them on Christmas Day and said, well, you've got to be running.
Right.
Well, the gym's closed. Oh, I'll be there Boxing Day, but I want to see you running. Yeah, I've been running. I went, do a video. And people were sending me messages. Well, that's a bit harsh. It's Christmas Day. And I'm saying, well, believe me, you need to train on these days. Yeah.
Your opponent will.
Yeah, but that sometimes crushes people. Well, it's my nan's birthday. And I understand that. Don't get me wrong, I do understand that.
Cool story.
Yeah. I know, but but I've had it all myself.
It's
I've
true,
missed birthdays, I've missed holidays, I've missed this and that. If you want to achieve in this, you have to miss. That's the difference. So you can tell from the first lesson if they're going to be good or not. But it's not until you find about their character whether they can do and be willing to put that time in.
Sacrifice, isn't it?
What it is,
massive. You have to want it. It's not. I'd imagine it's not like your coach can talk you into making these sacrifices. No. If you want it, I guess you'll just do it.
Yeah,
right?
I think where you're just alone in a ring at the end of it as well. Like, it's not like playing, like you mentioned earlier, like a team sport. You can sort of hide, or you can slip out of focus, and you can make a mistake and it not affect you. But if you, it's such a mental game as well. Like, fighting that when you turn up, if you've done everything that it takes, I'm sure
Yeah.
you're there, and it adds a level to your performance. You're like, I've done everything.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't have done more, so
Yeah.
I bring my best. Whereas if you've not trained, I bet you in the back of your mind there's probably a little I mean,
creeping
down.
it's a real tough sport. You know, I've seen a lot of fighters over the years, and from other gyms. They've got dreams, you know, and you know, follow your dreams, etc. But for every Conor McGregor that's made life-changing money, you know, to be honest with you, there's probably 50 million people behind him, but just as good as Conor McGregor in some ways of fighting, but just never going to get that chance.
Yeah,
it's such a gamble. The fighting's such a gamble. You can be one punch away from earning a lot of money.
Yeah.
One punch away from getting knocked out yourself, and your career's not over, but it takes a big back step, you know.
Yeah, particularly in MMA now as well.
Yeah, UFC's crazy. Like, you know, they don't take many fighters that've got losses on their record. Not many.
Yeah.
And then once you're in UFC, a lot of people think they've made it. I'm in UFC and I've made it. It's not at all.
Yeah.
You're actually just beginning.
Yeah, right.
And now you have to really win, and they try and get you to get the knockout or submission of the night, fight of the night to get more money.
Yeah.
And then it goes on and on. Boxing's the same, you know.
It strikes me that a very small percentage of people in any of these combat sports actually earns a lot of money.
Yeah, well, you know, can afford to buy a house or mortgage or get a car. There's hardly any, like.
Yeah.
It's
even
I feel
guys
a bit
in
sort
UFC
of skeptical of it, you know. I feel a bit. It's really it's so hard. You know, every fighter that does well should be paid good money. There's no denying it. It's just not. I've seen some people super talents, just never quite got there. Just a bit unlucky sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
And you know, and I've heard some fighters. How comes they got an opportunity? Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it? Sometimes they got a good promoter. Sometimes they've got the fight at the right time. So much to it.
Yeah.
And more than just training and actually fighting, you know. But it's like gambling. You've got to be in it to win it, though, haven't you?
Yeah. I think it looks as though that is getting better, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because there's more money to share around now.
Well, the boom of social media, and you know, Mayweather, for example, and McGregor, they're tuned right into social media. They've probably got people doing it for them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They're tuned in every day. They're updating
They
staying
turn up,
current.
don't they? Yeah.
They're doing bits and bobs here and everywhere. Now people are starting to follow suit and go off on their own little paths. And I think if a sponsor, for example, comes in and they see they've got 100,000 followers, you've got more chance of, you know, getting a little bit of sponsorship from them.
Yeah.
You
Just
know?
hold up an energy drink.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah. No, it's getting there. You know, you get Bellator as well. They pay, from all accounts, pretty decent money.
Yeah, they're doing well.
Glory
aren't they?
kickboxing as well is another one.
Is that something you encourage your fighters to do then? Is to start like being active on social and like turning up? And...
Stay current, be active, keep yourself fit as possible all year round.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get a phone call, do you want to fight on the weekend? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we had this with Luke Whelan, who's from my gym. Had a phone call. He's always wanted to fight in Japan. He's always wanted to fight in the K1, and about 2 weeks, I had a phone call. Just, have you got a 70-kilo fight to fight in Japan? Called him up, said, Luke, do you want to do it? He went, yeah, I'll do it. And he was training. He just fought a fight about a month before. He had an injury on his foot, but he was still training, keeping himself loose, you know. Got the phone call and we took it. And he fought in an 8-man tournament. He lost on points actually, but he's delighted. He fought in front of 15,000 people in Japan.
He always wanted to go.
Yeah. You know, so, and then they loved him like over there. So hopefully he'll get another call for it. But these are the things that people remember. You know?
Got to keep opening those doors.
You have.
Yeah.
Got to keep knocking.
How did the I wanted to talk about the Idris Elba thing as well. How did that come about? How did you get into that?
So, Warren Brown, who was in the programme Luther with Idris Elba, was his sidekick in it.
Okay,
I've forgotten what his name was in the programme. Idris had just done a season of called Idris No Limits.
Right.
It was on Discovery Channel, and I don't know if you
motor
remember.
Racing thing.
Yeah, motor racing, got on a plane, and did all these sort of things. It was quite successful. So Discovery turned around and said, "Let's do something similar or some adrenaline buzz. What would you like to do?" He said, "I'd like to have a fight," and they went like, "Come on now, like,
Let's calm down a bit.
yeah,
What do you want to do?
Come on now." So, but he used to train kickboxing.
Skydive or something.
Yeah. But he used to train kickboxing before. And at a gym, 20 years before he became an actor as such.
Yeah.
And he used to keep himself fit. And then when Warren was on a set with him doing loofah, Warren would hold pads for him.
Right.
The subject come up. He said, I want to have a fight. So Warren went, are you sure? Like, you're becoming a big star now in the UK. You've got these films and that coming up. No, I want to do it. I think I can do it. I think I've got the time to do it. So Warren called me up and said, look, there's a possibility you could coach Idris to do a fight. And I was like, nah, really? He wants to fight?
Yeah.
At the time, he was going to start training in November and he was going to fight in March in Thailand.
Right.
So, Discovery agreed everything, and we had a talk with those guys in Discovery and the production team that took it over. We had a talk and I was sending over schedules of what I'd have to do, and they said, right, well, he's clear. He's actually got nothing until March. Does the odd DJ thing here and there, but he's got no films until March or April.
Right.
So we try and get him in a fight beforehand. And they were like, right, what the plan is that you train him for 3 months. And I was like, 3 months? Yeah. And then he's going to fight in Thailand. Oh, are you serious? So then I basically went onto YouTube, copy and pasted loads of these Thai fights with elbows being thrown and stuff, sent it back, and they went, yeah, maybe not a Thai fight, we'll take the elbows out. Let's just say kickboxing. I said, fine. I said, but there's not many Thais that are 90 odd kilos. It's going to look silly.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 5'1", and it just is 6'3".
Yeah.
So we had all these sort of discussions, Anyway, so we started training because we had to. We started training, and he had like, he said he's got a bit of a bad back, had it from previous. So we did a few weeks training. He came in, did sessions at Double K.
The idea is still to fight in March at this point.
Yeah,
Right.
but that was still in discussion.
Right.
What was going to happen. He then got injured, so his back basically flared up, and he went to the doctors, surgeons, and they said, you're going to have to have back surgery.
Right.
It's from an old injury.
Oh, he had an op, didn't he? He
Yeah,
had like a
yeah, but
minor
you see,
op.
but
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah,
The original plan was he was going to fight. So they said it's off. The show's off completely off. I went, okay. These things happen. Then he said a lot of this didn't get filmed.
Right.
A lot of this did get filmed, but it wasn't on the programme. Sorry.
Okay.
About 8 weeks later, they kept updating me every week. Listen, it might still happen. Idris wants to still do it, and I said, there's no chance he's going to come back with back injury and fight in March. It just called me up with Warren and said, give me the all clear. I can get back training, but I need extra time. So Discovery went, well, it's impossible. You've got South Africa, you've got Dark Tower. Then you've got Finding Dory or something. We had to fly off. Then you had Star Trek. And then something else. I can't remember what something else he was doing. So they agreed for me to fly out. So I flew out to these countries and was basically on hand. Oh, Australia.
Right.
That was it. It was Thor. It was Heimdall in Thor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
right.
so I went to Australia. So I flew out to all these countries and trained him up.
I bet that was rubbish for you.
But the good thing
So
is...
he's working on the same film the whole time, or
No,
different projects?
films.
Oh,
Different
right.
films. But see, here's where years of networking comes in. So South Africa, I was like, well, I know Jim down there.
Yeah.
So we had Francois Bofo, who's a famous
He
boxer.
was pretty hardcore. That
Yeah. So I knew his coach and that. So I said, make sure he goes to this gym. This is the best gym in the area. So while I wasn't there, if I couldn't get there,
Okay,
etc.,
right, yeah.
he'd be training, and I'd have my ear to the ground, and he'd call me up and make sure he's training. Because I
that
knew
was the
then-
older coach, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty savage.
10 fucking hard ones. So anyway, and even when we went to Japan initially, again, his contacts through me, the
Yeah.
gym's there, so it was really good. So I can conduct it.
Yeah.
The whole program, aside from Cuba, all the places that we went to, all conducted about coaches I knew and fighters I knew.
Yeah.
So then I could really look after, make sure
Yeah.
the training was done properly. So that's years of networking. That is, right there. So we went to Australia. We went to John Wayne Parr's gym. With another gym called Matrix Gym, there as well with Peter Kent, and we went to these gyms. It was brilliant because no filming. We just went there, didn't tell anyone that Idris Elba coming in. We did a big group session. I'll be helping him on the coach. I'll get some fighters in.
Yeah.
He wasn't allowed to spar though.
Right. As in, who says he's
No,
not
he
allowed
did,
to?
but he
Right.
wasn't allowed to. We can say it now, but he
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to. So basically,
Who says he's not allowed to?
Marvel Comics.
Right.
Right, so
Right,
they
of
said, right,
course.
listen, right, he can't spy. He's got this film up.
In case he
And
walks
he
in
can
with a scar
train
one day.
near
or something.
pads. And Idris in the back of the car saying, listen, we are sparring. And I was like,
Well, because he knows he's got to fight, right?
Well, no,
He's
he's got to
like,
fight.
fucking
Don't forget an
sparring.
amateur fight in between. And the amateur fight was a real big lesson for him about himself.
Right.
Because sometimes when you train, yeah, I've got this. It doesn't always go to plan.
Yeah.
He had the amateur fight. I thought guy was quite experienced, called Patrick, South African dude, really good fighter. He did really well for a round, and then all the steam went out.
Yeah.
Literally all the wind went out of his sails, you know.
Yeah.
And then Patrick started to pick him off, and Patrick's more experienced, so he learned that. He got put down Idris, but he got up, and that was a real sign for me. No, he can do this, you know.
Yeah.
After the fight, he was absolutely gutted, like
Right.
devastated.
Yeah.
He brought all his friends, family, had a few celebrities there and stuff. It was in Repton. So, and I said, well, listen, that's your lesson there. Now you know about yourself, that you can take a shot, you can get up, but now you need to dedicate this. So you can't be going off DJ, and you can't. I know you got films coming up, but we have to train properly. Any given hour, you train.
Yeah.
And then after that, his level just went from literally, let's just say, out of 10, it went from like 5 or 6 to 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Went to Australia, he was on me. Every day we were training, He was doing everything asked for, dieting properly.
Yeah.
And, you know, then it changed for him, you know. His mindset changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like being embarrassed in public. You know,
Difficult,
like,
you know. Like, if you're a celebrity as such, or anything like he is, you know, like a movie star, there's a queue of people that want to beat him up.
Yeah.
They all want to be famous. This is how the world
Yeah,
is
of course,
now. So
yeah.
fickle, you know.
And
It's
he's
ridiculous.
he's proper celeb.
Oh, he's famous. You know, he was
He's
at the wedding,
A-lister,
wasn't he?
yeah,
He was at
yeah.
the wedding, just gone, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was there,
Good,
so-
mate. He was DJing, I think.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
think he was, yeah,
I wouldn't be
after
surprised.
They asked
So-
me, but I
Could make it.
But my point is, there was a queue of people that wanted to fight him. There's a lot of pressure on, you know.
Yeah, right.
A lot of pressure for him. He's used to
Massively.
it. Listen, he's a stage performer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can like that, and he's ready to go. Fighting is very different because it's not like acting where it's controlled. This is it, you know.
Yeah.
That's the most nervous you've ever seen me as well.
Really?
Really?
I was like, Warren was obviously involved in the coaching as well. He was an assistant with me, giving me loads of advice because Warren's the in between. Warren's done acting, and he used to be a world champion as well.
Oh, right.
Right.
So he understands both fields.
Okay.
So I'm like, forget the film. He's training. He's got a fight coming up.
Yeah.
And Warren goes, well, hold on. He needs to do this film because obviously, but we need to find the balance. So Warren's the balance in between us, you know.
Yeah.
But you've never. Me and Warren were just sweating with nerves, you know.
Really?
And because, you know, we become friends as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
We become
yeah.
friends. You know, I went to his house in France. I stayed around his house in London as well. And you met his family, cousins, all of that. So and that naturally, you get a bond, like we just talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And when he went to the ring, but I don't know if you know about that fight was, we weren't allowed to tell anyone that Idris Elba was fighting
Right.
in York Hall. Various different reasons. One was obviously security purposes and paparazzi, all of that. So what I had to do is, they gave me and a guy called Paul Hennessy, they said, right, it's a free ticket event. You got to watch who you invite. So I invited loads of people from the gym. Paul Hennessy invited loads of people from the gym. And then Discovery did they do like every quarter of a year, they do like a thing, everyone goes to a restaurant and
Yeah, like
you
a
know.
staff do.
yeah, staff did. Did a staff did. Said, right, we're going to go watch York Hall, watch some fighting. Only a few people off Discovery knew.
Right.
But there was a couple of hundred people from Discovery Channel there. So they said, right, we're going to go York Hall, watch a fight. And then afterwards go for dinner and stuff. And they all come down from Manchester, the head office and stuff. And there was loads of people that sort of got wind that there was fights going on, but
Yeah.
free tickets. So we advertised it online. And it was sold out, like 1,600. It was sold out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of kickboxing fights beforehand. And I'd organised. A couple of guys come over from Holland. And a couple of hundred people knew that Idris was fighting. But 1,000 people just thought, that's bollocks.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to be fighting.
Yeah.
I've heard his training. There's no chance he's going to be fighting. As the show went on, it started to half the people in the crowd
Yeah.
thought, hold on, he's fighting here.
Yeah.
And we weren't allowed to say anything.
Oh, shit.
We weren't allowed to. When Idris had to come around the back and stuff like that. So when he come out, I made me look at that.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've commentated on stadiums, 25,000 for kickboxing. I don't know, fought in front of 4,000 or 5,000 max myself, right? This was only, say, 1,500, wherever it holds Bethnal Green. I've never in my life seen a crowd like it.
Really?
The most electric crowd, because it was surprised. They didn't know. So the commentator, Peter Lowe, he just went, blah, 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 from Hackney, Idris Elba, and it was like, my God, the whole place went nuts.
Well, because some of them they kind of had half an inkling.
They went, and of course, people from my gym
Yeah.
had known that I'd been away from the gym 6 months a year. So like, bastard Idris, you fucking took my coach away, some of the fighters. But they also know the effort and time I've put into him for this. So there's a lot meant to me as well. I kid you not, just the whole crowd just went crazy. It was Madonna was there and Nigel Benn was there and all of these people there. They were going crazy. And then when he got in the ring, it was pretty cool for me. He had all double K on and stuff. It was a real honour,
Yeah,
and then,
I bet.
And it's another thing that was quite funny. My missus was there, brought her friend, so it's a lot of pressure on everybody,
Yeah.
Dripping with sweat. It's ridiculous, right? And then he took his top off, and there's all the girls going, woo! And the crowd's like, fuck you know. I looked at Warren, bastard. So he took his top off, and then like, it was just this little silence, Right, he's fighting now. This is fucking real. Looking at Warren going, Jesus. And I was thinking, the guy he fought, we actually had discussions for a few months. I didn't want him to fight that guy.
Right.
And this is hand on heart.
That was in the documentary, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't want him to fight him.
Concerns.
And we had discussions because he had 10 fights. 6 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah.
His wins all by first round knockout, and his 4 losses were. It's really weird. It's like he didn't have much heart. It was like if he didn't knock you out, he'd go crazy. He'd give up.
Right.
So he says, "Richard, the whole time you have to weather this storm. You're going to have to. He's going to go nuts. He's going to go crazy. He's 10 years younger than you. Trains at a decent gym.
Yeah.
He's taking it seriously. He's got a good coach. All the bits." And I was going, no, I wouldn't put I wouldn't put a fight with him with no fights in against someone who's had 10.
Yeah. Like forgetting that he's a celeb.
That was from the beginning. But Discovery was saying, well, you can't put him against another novice because it's not part of the programme. It's got to be against. It's like a no limits,
Yeah.
It's got to be virtually the impossible, and he beats it. And to be honest with you, and I'm not just saying it because he is a friend as well, Idris is an achiever in life.
Yeah.
He is an absolute... Everything he does, he just... his production company's through the roof, Yeah. He's DJing, he's just going to gigs here, there and everywhere around the world. His movies have just gone crazy. He's just an achiever.
Yeah.
Everything he seems to do is gold.
Yeah.
So they were going, he can do this and do this. Me and Warren were like, whoa, because we're fighters. Warren was like, I don't know, what do you think? Discovery, like, oh, come on, he can do it, and do it. His producer was going, come on, he can do it. And I had a big sit down. I said, it's not happening. This fight is not happening. We're going to get someone else. And then, months before, 5 weeks before, in Australia, he started sparring properly, hard sparring, and just something like that clicked. And I called up Warren and said, "Listen, he can do this. He can do it."
Nice.
So I called up Warren. We did a little video thing. Warren was watching it as well. We had a little discussion. I felt a bit bagged. It's all behind his back as well,
Right. So was he wasn't aware that you were saying?
He just turned around and said, "Whoever you get for me, I'll fight."
Okay, right.
So that's belief,
Yeah.
So.
So he wasn't aware that you was about to try and change the opponent.
Yeah.
Right.
So he can do it.
He is now, yeah.
He can do it. But as he got closer, a couple of days before, maybe he can't do it. Maybe he can't do it, Anyway, so, what's actually a shame about the actual documentary is how they've screened the last fight. I'd like them to show the whole fight. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
I'd like to show the whole fight because, it was near the end of the first round. It just got wobbled.
Yeah.
He got hit with the right hand and he stumbled back a bit. And I bet it woke him up, like we talked about. So you get hit and you react differently.
Yeah.
And he started whacking in low kicks. And then obviously he finished him with a knee and then a hook to the head.
Yeah.
And I feel maybe he could have got up. But I think he looked over at Idris and went, oh, I'm going to get swarmed.
Yeah.
So that's how that fight went.
Day.
But it was good. And the reaction, of course, afterwards when he won. The relief.
Yeah, I bet.
The relief.
Did you go out afterwards?
Yeah, of course. But it's a really strange thing. I don't know if you had this when you competed or not, last week. I don't know if you had this or not. But even when I used to fight or had fighters have gone and done very well, afterwards, I wanted to chill out a bit.
Yeah.
It's like you get this massive high, you get this big adrenaline dump, and it's like, well, there's nothing else now.
Yeah, right.
I was just like, what's next?
What's next?
Yeah, and I was just, we went to his house, and we went out to a bar, etc. But it was brilliant, he won, But just, It wasn't like a mega party that you could imagine.
I think it
I mean,
takes
Madonna
so much
was there,
out of
that's
you,
celeb
doesn't it?
enough.
Yeah.
Madonna
she?
was there, yeah. Had a little chat with her.
Did you?
Yeah.
she?
Yeah, Madonna was there, so she's obviously a friend of Idris's and
Right.
around same
It's a
circles.
funny
I
old
suppose.
match, isn't it? I don't know. I just wouldn't put them together.
No, they're not
Yeah, right.
together, are they?
No, I know, but I
No.
wouldn't have I wouldn't
As
even said.
pals.
Oh well.
Idris Elba.
I just think in general celebrities and so it's like out of gym trades, you know.
Yeah,
You know, it's how things go. Like I suppose in those circles they cross paths a lot.
Yeah.
Become
Yeah.
friends. Who knows? you
He's
know.
pretty cool as well, isn't he?
He is.
Well, yeah,
Double cool.
that's it,
Pretty
isn't
cool
it?
customer.
Yeah.
A DJ, a producer, an actor. You couldn't get more cool, could you?
Yeah,
And a
yeah,
fighter.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, now we
Now
can
it's
fight.
win to fight.
Jesus, you know what I mean?
Fuck's sake, mate.
Well, at
I
least
know.
he's-
Yeah,
At least
got
he's
the
not
voice.
6'3" as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop it.
Oh,
Got
no.
the voice. Stop this.
Yeah. Got a rig.
Yeah, too cool.
Yeah.
So, basically, that's a lot about that documentary. But that is something in life that I can always say I've done.
Yeah.
I thought it was
there?
amazing. I watched all of it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah,
I really
I
enjoyed
really-
I look back and even the people who produced it say, actually, we wish we did more episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the start of how they commission things, they said, right, we'll give you a 3-hour slot, for 3 shows or whatever
Right.
it is, or 45 minutes. As it was going on, I think they did about 200 hours of footage,
Right.
for 3 slots of 45 minutes. They wished they had done more, looking back, because there are countries that we visited that weren't even on that.
Right.
I like the idea of that being like a regular series, just for your reference, that
Yeah.
a
Well-
celebrity gets trained up to be.
Well,
to
the
fight.
problem is, we've had
If anyone
discussions...
wants to make that.
Well, no, we've had discussions since. Technically, it has been done. You had Flintoff, didn't you? Had the boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Oh,
about that.
cool.
Ferdinand just got denied
He
his
got
boxing,
rejected,
didn't he? So
didn't
he's
he? Yeah.
rejected. So it has been similar thing. I don't remember years ago. I think even Gervais had a white collar boxing fight. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was one of its first of its kind. We actually saw all the training, went to all the countries. The problem is a few things that we've discussed with. There's a massive chance that they'll have a spin-off from this. So there is.
Oh, good.
We're in talks now of a possibility of a spin-off.
Okay, exclusive.
However it will. However that will go, we don't know.
Right.
There are loads of different stories, but like I said, until you sign the dotted line, there's nothing
Yeah.
confirmed. We did have a discussion about doing a series 2 with another actor, musician, celebrity. One, what celebrity's going to do it? It's hard.
Yeah.
You got to remember about Idris is, he wanted to do this.
Yeah.
He wanted to. He put his own production company online, so he put a lot of his own investment into it as well. Not many people are going to do that. Who's as famous as Idris that will fight? There isn't anyone. So if you've got someone else who's like, I don't know, a local English star, it'd be great for Discovery in England. But this was
Yeah.
sold worldwide in Australia, America,
Got
China.
a good point.
Do you see what I mean? So it's very, very hard to reciprocate. How can you do that again?
Yeah, it'd be hard to trump.
Yeah,
I think.
it's hard to trump. It's going to be quite a similar story, isn't it? So
Yeah.
what they're talking about is spin-offs, where he just gets involved in possibly the development of other students.
Yeah.
As his background then comes in and then
I like disadvantage. Like,
yes,
oh, I see.
as a possibility.
Good idea.
So there's all different things going on.
Yeah.
I just sit back and just wait because over years of experience, no, how you two guys have, until you see the dotted line, until you sign it, then it's a goer.
Yeah.
I've heard loads of pipe dreams, etc. Until I see it, there's no point in getting
Yeah.
excited about it,
Yeah, sure.
So we'll see. But first and foremost is that we're mates still. We talk quite a lot.
Yeah.
So
Did
yeah.
you do any training at all?
Yeah, he still trains, but yeah, actually, after the event, I think he did a couple of movies, but his knee actually gave way.
Oh, right.
It was going to from the back leading onto it, so he just got over constructive surgery. He's only really just started to walk probably the last couple of months with the bands and all of this and rehab. So that's what he's doing at the moment. He's just started to do some light training, so no doubt we'll see him soon.
Yeah. What was his schedule like when he was filming? Is it proper full
It's
on,
nuts.
or does he get loads
It's
of time?
nuts. When I don't know, when you're like a kid and that, and you dream of, I'd like to be a Hollywood actor and all this stuff. I tell you what, it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It's amazing, especially when you're at a level where he is at that time. Is you get no time to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, you just get bugged left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
You just get bugged left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no respite at all, And I'm not saying acting's a crazily hard job in any way at all. You can think of far worse jobs, of course. But again, it's a tiny percentage that actually have his chances, you know. And, but he's worked hard for it. But when I was on set once, I just take, come off, take, do this, do that, do this, do this. I was like, 10 hours of this?
Yeah.
Boring. It's not what you
just
think.
the
You
same
think
thing
glitz and
over
glam,
and
don't you?
over.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then they go off, and then they've got to remember all the lines. He's an action star, so all of that. And then he comes and trains with me, and then he does it again the next day.
Yeah.
And it's not. And then literally, he gets a flight. He lands in another country, and I've got DJ. He flies another country. I've got a meeting. Yep, flies to another country. Do this. He just don't stop.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And travel itself.
Never complains
bucks you up.
though. That's what I like about him. Never ever complains.
Nice.
And his schedule was ridiculous. Like I said, ridiculous. And he didn't hardly slept at all, and could just do it.
Fair play.
That's what I said, an achiever.
Achiever,
Yeah.
Machine.
Yeah, absolute machine. Absolutely. I just appreciate don't complain. It's when you start. Not in general, just when people start complaining, I'm just like, come on now.
I think that's a fight thing, and I think even my short, I don't know, 5 years or whatever it was at Semtex, it does teach you that.
Yeah.
Because when you're hitting pads with your trainer,
Yeah.
the second you start, when they're like, fuck off, put your guard up, like just
dry your eyes, pedal.
Shut up, get over it.
The whole thing is poker face.
Yeah.
Try not to give away too much.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's actually been sometimes in my life, sort of outside of the business, is sometimes that's blended into other parts of my life. So sometimes I just can't show much emotion.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, when people say they're injured,
Don't do sympathy.
No, I don't. When people are injured in the gym, I go, I don't mean to be like that. It's just how I am, because I had the same to me, you know.
Yeah.
If you're complaining, it's a sign of a weakness.
One thing I've noticed from people who've got experience fighting as well is that they don't not just not whinging, but they find it harder to show and express any worry. They're just not bothered about, like, you don't hear them whinging about little things, or like they're not complaining about the weather or something they can't change. And I quite like that about people.
Well, the top level fighters, especially, because all they're thinking about is fighting.
Yeah.
They don't have time to think about anything else. That is top level athletes, you know.
Yeah.
In any sport, I think they've got to just concentrate on that. They're very, very minded on that, and that only, which is their goal, what their target is.
Do you have for your fighters now? Do you do any kind of psychology with them? Like, do you practice any kind of mindfulness or
every fight is different.
Yeah.
Every fight is different. Some people, like I said, are just ready for war. Some people need a little bit of nurturing as such leading up to it. Every like obviously every human is, but they're all different, absolutely different. Some people got rituals for the fight. You can't. If you get that ritual wrong, it can really throw them off.
Yeah.
All the way down to an entrance music. You know, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I've got one fighter. He used to like his hand wrapped, left hand first, but the right hand. And then like how he puts his t-shirt on. That's just how he was. But I knew that, you know.
Yeah.
And little things to throw him off. But again, it's what you learn over time. I think we were talking about earlier about mind coaching. And mind coaching is a relatively new thing.
Yeah.
A relatively new thing. Initially, I would say, surely that's the coach's job.
Yeah.
Surely it's the coach's job of looking after the fighter. They're going to know them from, especially if they've been training for many years together. They're going to know all their weaknesses and powers and, you know, what's right, what's wrong. But mind coaching, I think it's come over from America a lot, with NFL maybe. You know, that comes from mind coaching. They've got a mind coach on their teams, and now it's started to come into all of Premier League. I think we've all got them, you know. Yeah. Psychologists, etc., just to study them and work with them. But the only problem is, I think you've got to be tried and tested in this sport. So if you've got a mind coach who's done it himself,
right? Yeah.
Then for me that's fine. It's when they haven't, I bet that's a bit strange to me. But if it works for you, it works for you. That's great. Just don't. As long as it doesn't get involved in the fight camp, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, anything extra is great. But here's the times I'll give you.
Yeah, you can't replace that with something else.
Don't replace a pad session with me with the mind. It's the same with like strength and conditioning. Strength and conditioning has gone right through the roof, crazy through the roof. But strength and conditioning has really boomed over. Like I think it's from NFL. I'm sure of it. Yeah. The last 5-10 years. But what you got to watch out for? Yes, it's great. That makes you stronger, etc. It makes you gets you in good shape, makes you look good, feel good scenario. However, you get some people who do strength and conditioning 3 times a week, which is too much for fighting, in my opinion. Yeah. I've always said to fighters, really once a week. the end of the week, because you get a rest day the next day. Because I used to get some guys used to come in, say, on a Wednesday, done strength and conditioning this morning, and then came in to do pads with me, and they're ruined.
Yeah.
Their absolute bodies in bits, and I don't need that. I need them to learn the art of what we're doing. Yeah. So at the end of the week, I'd always say to people, do strength and conditioning then, whatever it is, it's a bit different. Get a massage as well and have a day off afterwards.
One thing we've noticed in that industry, we have a lot of coaches here who are S&C coaches,
yeah, of course, yeah,
who do it for elite athletes, and one thing that they've taught us is that the S&C work shouldn't be work that is to replace the technique work. So we don't, you see quite a lot of S&C coaches doing really sport specific drills where they've got the fighters like all taped up to different bands, and then like they're trying to replicate the movement. S&C should be about improving these compound lifts and big movements rather than the intricacies of fighting, which should be learnt doing fighting.
Yeah, of course.
So that they should never ever be replaced.
I'll always like say is, you do it, that's fine. But just like I said about with mind coaching, don't replace a session with it of the art of what you're learning. I don't know much about other things like running and athletics, and all those. It's only what I know is about fighting and my own experiences. But repetition, I tell you what, in the Western way, we get bored quick, especially I've noticed even more so. So it talks about sessions being quicker now.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a quick result,
Yeah, everyone's so time poor, aren't they?
Exactly. But really, the best athletes give it time. Give it time. And some things are monotonous and boring. Like when you go to Thailand, you do the same thing in the morning, same thing in the afternoon, and it's boring. In the Western way, let's do something different to sort of spice up the training as such.
Mix it up.
However, I'll always go back to who are the best fighters in the world. Thai boxing, of course, Thais. If you go into boxing, it's usually Mexicans, Eastern Europeans now. And I look at their facilities, they've got nothing. And all they've got is pad work, sparring, running, a use of what they can.
Skipping rope,
Yeah, the basics. So don't get wrong, that is changing. I went to Cuba. When I was in Cuba, went to this place, I kid you not, I had nothing in there.
Yeah.
And they got the best amateur team in the world, or one of the best amateur teams in the world, because...
Thai boxers or boxing?
This is boxing.
Right.
And Thailand, I've been to loads of gyms, and the best fighters come out of these nothing gyms, Because of this repetition. But it seems to be their culture is, this is how you win.
Yeah.
It's our culture is want to get there quick. So want to get as quick, as fit and as strong as possible. So sometimes with S&C, going back to it, sometimes with S&C is, I think some people believe it too much and put too much S&C if you're fighting. And I've seen it, they look great, absolutely fantastic, but I don't know how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
So you've got to find a balance.
Yeah.
I think with fighters that have got to a certain level, then do it twice a week. Because then you've learned how to fight. Now, this just maintains you, especially in between fight camps is good. So you've done your fight, stay in the gym, do your S&C, because I do believe it does help with injuries, that's for sure. But we're in a stage now of, I believe in training at this year, 2018, is we're just finding balance. We talked about nutrition. It's starting to people are getting educated, but they're not quite there yet. It's getting there though.
Yeah.
Same with strength and conditioning in your body, and science is now thrown into it. And obviously the fight sports. I think we're only a few years away from actually finding the correct training program.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the Americans seem to be a couple of years ahead of us on that front.
On S&C especially. Yeah. But we got to remember they're ahead because they've got gyms that are 40,000 square foot.
Yeah.
And they're basically, there's no rent on it. It's like, let's get it for free. Got so much land, haven't they? That's what you've got to remember. And of course, their college and universities are ridiculous.
Yeah, the gyms in the colleges are just
sports programs.
They're amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, but you'd always say, I've always said that the best fighters are, in general, are from the poorer countries, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're hungry, So.
Yeah, particularly in boxing, them sort of spit and sawdust Mexicans.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. Yeah, players now, they're some of the best now, aren't they? They're hungry. They want to achieve.
Yeah.
The determination as well. I think in England, as a whole, we don't really. I'm not saying we don't really, but we don't really have like mega poor people as like you would in Africa and places like that.
Yeah.
You even see people now in council estates with an iPad, with an iPhone.
Yeah,
with the latest trainers, jeans.
Wealth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different,
Yeah.
It's very, very different. So the want is different because you can get all this now. Because these people from poorer countries, they want that, don't they? So they're training hard for it.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah, it's a different level of poverty, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Together.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you still? Did you still train yourself?
Not really, no. I mean, I obviously like coaching and holding pads in a form is a form of training, but not like I don't have time to. I've constantly I've got that's wrong words to say because I'll get cursed for that. Well, you say you haven't got time.
Yeah.
It's
How dare you?
The priorities have changed.
Right.
So now I've got the gym which I run. I've got franchise of gyms. I've got 3 promotions that I run, and obviously I've got family indoors as well.
Yeah.
So you got to find balance.
Yeah.
So the priorities. Remember we talked about it was number 1 fighting. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's everybody else's. So it's just down on the list.
Yeah.
So.
Can I just ask you a couple of just quick questions about like what the plan is now moving forward and business and so on, because that's just an interest of mine as it is.
Well, I like to the thing is for me, I like to stay busy. Sometimes I won't lie, I probably take on too much.
Yeah.
That's just me. It's just
Join
how
the
I
club,
am.
yeah.
Yeah. So the gym's doing very well. Got 60 active fighters.
And this is the gym based in Bromley?
No, New Elton.
New Elton.
Yeah, so it's got 60 active fighters in boxing, MMA, Thai boxing, K1.
Yeah.
All the way from amateur up to pro, into club level, in-house level. I've got a promotion called Muay Thai Grand Prix, which is been running for about 4 years now. I've got 2 other partners, Simon and Phil. We've branched out now into Greece and Paris. We're going to Australia next year. We've got Birmingham later on this year. We went to Iraq as well. Yes, Baghdad. And yeah, so we did a show there last year, Baghdad. Jesus. And then I set up a boxing, like a white collar boxing.
Yeah.
Because what happened is, like we talked about earlier, is fight sports before were just like young people. Now you're getting people in the 40s and 50s turning up to
Just want to
train.
have a tear up, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, well, the white collars come along, And at first I was like, come on, it's ridiculous. But now I've sort of gone, oh, you know what? I get it now. I understand it. So it is for people that don't have the time to commit full time and they can only get to the gym twice a week. But it's against someone else who's fought.
Yeah.
Who's only trained twice a week. And it's more the white collar's more the experience. What I like about it is we just do a couple of classes a week. They all compete against each other. They raise money for charity.
Yeah.
And it's a good laugh. Do you know what I mean? The whole gym come together. And we have of all the shows I do, they're just a good laugh. There's no pressure to sell tickets. There's no pressure on this.
Yeah. So you actually doing those now, like that, so people can get involved with that.
Yeah, so we do. We've got next one July 6th, which is at the Indigo. It's Friday night. It's the night before the Muay Thai Grand Prix. So we're doing that. We usually have about 12, 15 bouts. Try not to do too many. Only a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. So obviously got the Muay Thai show, which is involved in K1 as well.
Yeah.
They've got the boxing, and recently, last year, took a role on as head of operations for MTK MMA. So MTK Global, a boxing brand. They manage Tyson Fury, Billy Joe. I think they've got about 150 boxers now. They've been a boxing brand for about 4 or 5 years.
When you say they manage them,
yes.
How does that work?
Well, manager is basically that they get them the fights, they sort their training camps out, sponsorships, the whole package like that. Right. Every fight's got different deals, of course.
Yeah.
They'll
be involved with actually matching them up with another opponent.
A lot of the time, or the promoter will come and say, "Here's the matches. What do you think?" That's how that goes. And with boxing as well, of all the sports, boxing is still the number one of all combat sports.
Yeah.
Yes. So they wanted to branch into MMA. So they got their head office in Dubai. So I had a meeting over there, and they said, "Look, we want to branch into MMA." I was like, "Really?" They went, "Yeah, we want to sign this guy called Darren Till, who's fighting next week at UFC Liverpool." And I was like, "They went, what do you know about Darren Till?" And I said, "Well, he had about 21 Thai boxing fights because he was a Thai boxer before. I'm from Liverpool. Went to Brazil. I think he's 12-0 in Brazil. I think he just fought Donald Cerrone."
Yeah.
And they went, "We're going to sign him." And I was like, "Why would he sign for you? Because he's already in UFC."
Yeah.
But they've signed him for a face for MTK. That's right. This is us making a mark. I was like, "Cool, yeah, go and sign him then." And then they came back and said, "Do you want to run shows for us for MTK MMA?" My real role is to set up teams. So I would set up a team in Liverpool, get the squad together, and oversee their work. Same in Newcastle. And in London, we did our first event last week. Put a team together, eventually branch into Europe. And just what I do is basically oversee everybody, make sure it's done correctly and to the formula of how we want it. So we did our first show last week. Got another show in Liverpool June 30th, then Newcastle July 21st. So we're putting it together.
When you say put together a team, do you mean a team of like staff to run it? Right, right, okay. Not
so
fighters.
you'd have a matchmaker, you'd have a person who can do the running and officials, check on the gloves, all of this.
Yeah.
You've got another person who does your social media. You've got another person who will do logistics, booking hotels, flights if necessary.
Yeah.
And obviously on the day, checking the weights, doing the cash flow.
What about the actual events themselves? How's that run? Do you source that out, or is that something that you get involved in as well?
I get involved in, yeah.
Right.
So,
booking
down to the
venues
live
and
stream. Yeah, down to production, live stream, booking, the cage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots of things to do in it.
Yeah, right.
You go to a show, especially, I mean, I've nearly done 50 events now, but when you go to a show initially, you only just see what's in front of you. Loads of people, not all the time, some shows don't do too well. Loads of people, a ring or a cage and fights, and you think, this is easy.
Yeah.
And it's well easy.
Yeah.
I've actually had it, I won't say the guy's name, but he comes to a show and said, yeah, you must be making a fortune from the shows. I said, I'll tell you what, 'cause he works on accounts, etc. I said, tell you what, come do my accounts for my next show. And yeah. Turned up. I said, right, all fighters go in there, this is where the room is after your fight, you're going to get paid there, and all the commissions, insurance, judges, ambulance, doctors, they all go in there after the event and get paid. He come out sweating. And I said, I told you tonight. I said, it's not what you think. There's so much more outgoings than you think. He said, I didn't realise. I said, I told you.
What do you mean they go in there and get paid?
Oh, so after you compete, you go and get what you're getting paid for. See what I mean?
Right, okay.
So you go into a room and then you sign a document, this is what you're getting paid for the fight.
Right,
and that's
okay.
it, yeah.
So you're not like just handing out piles of cash to
no,
a big queue coming in?
No.
Right.
Yeah, so just you sign off after your fight, you get your money.
Well, because I assume the fighters are getting paid different amounts.
Yeah, of course.
How good they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's lots of to do a show takes time, but you need to build a team. When I first started doing shows, I did it with actually me and my brother Sean. Just me and him. We did a very small show, 300 people, quite easy.
Yeah.
Then I started doing shows practically on my own. Sean had a full-time job, he didn't have the time. And then you think, I could do it all. Because if I do it all, it means I get all the money.
Yeah.
Oh, what a mistake that was. And then you get a phone, you hate your name, Kieran. Oh. And then, if the show fails, of course, it comes out of your own pocket, So these things happened early on.
Yeah.
And then
so do you have to front everything?
Of course.
Right.
So eventually I brought in people that I could trust, which you learn over time who's who. And then they come in, and they've been loyal with me ever since.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still learning, even the
right.
shows. The show we did, the MMA show we did last week, I'm still learning from that, It's a new sort of aspect, Thai boxers and MMA fighters. Although you're performing, they are completely different people, So
did you had MMA fights and Thai fights on the same bill?
No,
did you?
just MMA fights.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's an MMA only show.
How'd it go?
Good, yeah. We did a live stream as well for IFL TV, which is Coogan. So that was pretty decent. I think we had 25,000 views, which is not bad for our first one.
Yeah.
And most of it was all London fights. I had a couple of, I think, fights from Manchester come down, etc.
Cool.
But in all, the show was good. Review afterwards was decent. Good comments from people.
Feedback, yeah.
Good feedback, yeah. And it'll only grow.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of holding it back at the moment. It can be really big, that can, but I just want to hold it back for the moment, just because I don't want to make big mistakes,
Yeah.
I want to just
grow
slowly, and I think a couple of years it's going to be very, very. You're going to hear about it more.
What's the end game for it? Like, have you got like a long-term vision for
which one? MTK.
Well, I guess for your the Double K brand in.
Well, Double K brand is.
But all of it. I mean.
They've each got their own goals,
Yeah.
But my thing is, I just like to be successful. And I'll try my hardest
good
to
job
be
of that,
successful.
mate.
Well, thanks, yeah. But I'm just trying to be successful. That's all I want to be. I've never, like I said, I've never fussed about flash stuff, like big houses and stuff for myself. I just want to be successful. That's all I want to do. I want to try hard as I possibly can. But what I do like is I like people around me to be successful.
Yeah.
So it's not just about me. So, for example, when on the Idris show, I made sure Luke Jamie Whelan come with me and experienced part of it. Charlie was part of it.
I saw that you had a couple of them on the. Yeah.
It shouldn't shun people out and monopolise. You should get people involved with you. So if I'm successful, I like seeing people successful
Like
around
others
me
come
too.
along for the ride.
Yeah, it's positive, and that's what you want. You want positive energy around you.
Yeah,
Anyone negative around me just gets you down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I want everyone around me to do well. So it's the same with all the brands. Is they grow and people around me feel the buzz as well.
Yeah.
And
Builds a
we'll
bit
get
of
involved
loyalty
together.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's me all over. That's what I've always. Even when I was fighting, I'd never ever talked about money.
Yeah.
It's just talked to Alan, not fussed. I'll fight him. I want to fight him. And then sometimes like I fought in Morocco. Yeah, I always wanted to fight in Morocco. I didn't even know. I'm not sure I was getting paid. Just wanted to fight in Morocco. Blind him, isn't it? Just to fight in Morocco. Brilliant.
Don't know you're fighting that.
No,
I thought so. Just
fight in Morocco. Because for me, is I look back in life and say, I fought in that country, I fought here, I fought there. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's just
What a cool story, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think also the fight career, how I did sort of things in reverse. I was thinking about fighting to build up a CV, to set up my own gym, and eventually do my own thing as such.
Were you thinking that early on, was you?
Yeah.
You always had that in your head that you wanted
Always
to do
had it. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. I try to tell a lot of fighters to think like that now. Not all of them think like that. Not all of them are going to open up gyms, and some are, some aren't. They do their own thing. But I always say to them, if you think about it. But the thing is with me is I'll actually help them.
Yeah.
A lot of other gym owners won't. As I always say, listen, if you do set up your own gym, tell me what it is. I can help you with everything possible, like down to like a business plan to open up a gym, how you can get cheaper equipment, down to advertising, you know, all those little bits. Listen, if you can't stop people doing what they want to do.
No, true.
I'll help them.
Yeah.
With the like the double K gyms, you mentioned that you're franchising it.
Yeah, so I've got the main
it.
gym, which is in New Eltham now. It's only a small gym, like, you know, but it's more of a fighter's gym. It's what I like to do.
Yeah, just best of keeping it that way. It's absolute nightmare.
Well, listen, I had a gym in Bromley before that, and the problem is, I'll say it, big gym, and you could definitely going to agree with this, big gym, big problems. Always. Yep. If you have a small gym, you can control everything a hell of a lot easier. A hell of a lot easier. I've had big gyms, and you know, it can be tough. You know, because although like people come in at the night time, you definitely can agree with this. People come in at the night time, your gym's packed. You must be doing well. They're forgetting about Tuesday afternoon when there's no one in.
Yeah.
You know, and the lighting's still on, the water's being used. You know, all of this.
Yeah,
and it mounts,
in the same way you mentioned earlier about people saying, oh, "This must make loads of money." No one
knows.
might see the amount of money someone pays for a session,
and the risk,
the
risk you took. You know, so but the franchises basically they've got a couple of loyal students who one lives in Hastings, one lives in Brixton, and they're like, listen, I'll teach at another gym. Can I take your name? Yeah, of course, go for it. You know, again, helping them push their brand out. There's one over in Essex, it's Basildon, which is full-time gym, which is Evan Jay's, and his dad Simon, who's my business partner for a couple of the shows.
Yeah.
They set up a gym over there. It's a full-time gym in a gym, so it's like a gym like this, but it's got another section in it, which is a fight gym only. And then there's one in Swanley, again, 3 of them are just 3 nights a week in a gym. The other one's full-time, and of course mine's full-time.
Yeah.
So just building brand. The eventual thing is to have fighters out of each gym, do seminars where everybody comes together.
Yeah.
You could start doing shows. It takes time, this. You know, all the fighters, they start building up their own fighters, and eventually you do a show where everybody's fighting, like Double K versus other gyms. And that's how you build, you know, I think.
I think you're right.
Definitely.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that model. It's a lot easier to manage.
Yeah.
And a lot less barriers to entry.
Yeah.
That works.
Franchise.
Yeah, just if it's done right, I think also once you've done it once, it's very easy to
replicate.
Listen, I've had, no doubt you have. No doubt you have. We've all had failures, haven't we?
Yeah.
I've been on my arse loads of times, you know. How am I going to get out of this one?
Yeah.
But I think if you just drive to be successful and have the right people around you, everything else will fall in place.
Yeah.
Still going to face hurdles, but...
Yeah.
Talking of, did you say you started a bar earlier?
Yes. What a mistake that was. But what a good mistake.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
No such thing as a bad one, mate.
As a kid, like, I'd always had this dream about opening up a bar with a few friends of mine.
Yeah.
And then, like anyone in a career, I come back from Thailand, and I remember thinking, what else is there? Can I do something else? And not being egotistical in any way at all, I was quite popular, like, you know. Yeah. You know, so I thought, why am I opening the bar? I'll have a go at this thing.
Yeah.
And I just took a little step back from fighting regularly. I had some money savings and that, and then I saw this plot in Greenwich, fell in love with the place. I got a few other partners in. This is how unlucky this was. So it was going to be a plot, and it was going to be called, it was Woodwolf, and it was going to be along Greenwich River, and we were going to be the first business to open. But 6 months after, I can't remember the exact numbers. It was going to be like 1,000 new flats were going to open. There was going to be a brand new shopping mall. There was going to be a bar on the front, and it was going to be a pier for ships to come in right outside this bar. I said, listen, guys, we invest in this. We'll build it up. It's going to be a bit tough for 6 months, and then when all these businesses, because they're building currently, we're the start of the walkway. You get on this walkway, we are the first bar.
Yeah.
It'll be brilliant, all right? Then a recession hit.
Start
Right,
building.
I don't know if you remember 2008, 2009, the recession hit, or 2010, something like that.
Yeah, 2008.
Boom, right? We'd applied for a loan from the bank,
Right.
and it got rejected. But we were halfway through building. Newspapers came to us.
Is it new build, the whole thing?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
right.
shit.
So the new builds next, I can't remember the name of the company, next door to us, that were building all this massive plots of land to stop. All the workers walked off site. We're like, we are sitting in the middle of nowhere, you know. Our building was halfway through. We're like, Jesus. We had to,
Did you put your own dough into it?
yeah, we had to put my own dough in it. Funny enough, we went to the press about it, because we actually got agreed the loan from the bank. Because of the recession there, the bank didn't give us the money.
Right.
So we actually took them to court and they paid us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3 months, 6 months later. But the problem is, while that building was there in Greenwich, that was still getting bills, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the money we got in basically just paid off. But we
Yeah.
built this.
Shit.
We built this bar. It wasn't nowhere near ready. It was a beautiful bar, by the way. River bar. It was called. Beautiful bar, right overlooking the river. And then we thought, well, let's just hang it out. We're in now. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
We did a few nights. Got absolutely rammed. We had Ollie Murs there. What night that was, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was a bar. I had about 600. We sold them all in about 10 minutes. But this was. Even though this is 2009 or 10, I can't remember when he got voted out on the Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, and we were the first ever people in the UK to have him live.
Oh, really?
So that's what we used to do, X Factor things, and the bar was getting busy. So we had Ollie Murs in. He creamed the place. It was ridiculous, and it was a buzzing night, you know. And at those times, it was, instead of going to ticket online, we were sending people out on mopeds to sell the tickets.
Yeah.
You know, it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
a nutty time, a real nutty time, but we were hustling, you know.
Yeah.
And then Ollie Murs come down with a few other guys.
So were you and your partners like in there working behind the bar?
Yeah,
and
behind the bar.
all of it?
We'll get staff in and we'll behind the
Yeah, yeah.
stages and I say, look the bollocks. He really did.
Yeah.
And then we had loads of complaints, right? Like the sound wasn't the sound. All this sound that we paid for was still going through the walls because there was people above us.
Ah,
It's
right.
got this extra sound in. Then we had the council come in, and then we had a local neighbour that wasn't even near us. I say local.
So
she was
busy,
in the
yeah.
area.
Yeah.
She hated us.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated us.
One person with stuff like that can make a massive.
Absolutely. So
Upright.
I couldn't believe it. She basically got all the people in the area getting to sign letters and stuff, and then sent it to us, and it was like that. It was like that, and I was going through all these letters, going, I can't believe it. You know, they just basically signed petitions
Right.
to change. Because I went in there to say we're going to be a bar, restaurant eventually, but because we'd run out of money, we couldn't open up the restaurant
Right.
part of it. So we had to just be a bar, get some money in, then build the. But they didn't believe us. They just
Yeah.
thought you were opening up a club. But we only had the license till midnight. But you would apply for the temporary event licenses, you know,
Ah, right,
to open
okay.
up just once a week or once a month even.
Yeah.
Anyway, because the walkway was just us and it wasn't the bars next to us, we turned it into a restaurant, but it was never the same after that.
Yeah.
Because if you go to a restaurant and it's a nice restaurant, it was brilliant food, a good chef, everything like that. You're only really going to go once a month, 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tops.
I'll go to another restaurant, you know. But when you have a bar that's pretty trendy, you might go a bit more regularly.
Yeah.
You know, so it just dived. So we had to basically just get rid of it.
Yeah.
But as much as a stressful time it was, I had a real good time when we were open, you know, like the
Yeah.
nights and building it and getting events going. It's a real buzz. I love events, you know.
Yeah.
Real buzz about it. The hours were crazy. I literally sleep in 2-3 hours a time,
Yeah.
you know, to get this thing up and running. And the idea and the dream was coming with reality. But actually, when it all folded, even though we lost a ridiculous amount of money, etc., the pressure off my shoulders was unexplainable.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank God it's over.
Yeah.
Well, I've got no money now, but, you know.
What a learning curve, though.
What a learning curve. I learned so much about people, how you do business, how events are run, things that can happen on the night.
Yeah.
To even have, I'll bring it now onto the shows I do.
Yeah.
Contacts even.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I bet.
But I think you do need failures to be successful.
100%.
You know?
What you learn from them is so much more.
And I wasn't given this either. I was literally, that was crazy. Like I was going up to like, proper top meetings to obviously do the architectural designs, etc. All these top architects, etc. And I'd just come out of Semtex gym, I had to turn in, put a suit on, go up to London, and then have this meeting. Oh yeah, and then go afterwards, and then put the Semtex gear on and go, right, fuck it, give me pressure up. All different, you know. I just try half blagging it to do it, but it worked.
I think you've always got to do that. I think the key is to fail forward, I think, and just so every time you do make some kind of failure like that, it's taking something from it and just move forward.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Semtex. Sorry, go on, Brick.
You're talking of moving away now, right?
Absolutely. I don't know if you know this, actually, or not. So, many years ago, a few years ago, should I say, Charlie Peters fought in Canada. It's in Calgary. My uncle lives in Calgary. And not to be big-headed anywhere at all, through the job, I've managed to see a lot of countries. I think about 50-odd countries, you know.
Really?
Something crazy. Been some fantastic places. But Calgary or Canada was one of those places I just went, this place is amazing. Relaxed, good pace. By another major coincidence, where Charlie was fighting is my uncle lived 10 minutes down the road. He'd been there 50 years. He's in his 70s now. There's a gym very nearby. The guy that owns the gym, I was in Thailand with him 10 years prior at Council Mitt Gym. He was there in and out. He did a big stint there for 6 months. We became friends, and you know, nowadays instead of pen pals, you're just on the phones.
Yeah.
How's things going? So we come over. I just said to him, Orlando, I love this place. And he said, well, if you ever want to work here, let me know. You come over here, it'd be amazing. Yeah. So I thought about it, you know. I thought about all different places. Los Angeles I quite liked. A bit too busy for me though. You know, I thought a few other places.
You just had a bug to move.
I had a bug. I've always, as a kid actually, like I said, I lived in Thailand and stuff like that. I've always been one of these guys. Yeah. You know. Orpington, I'm not a traveller. So I've always been one of these guys that have. It's not I don't settle. I just conceived other possibilities.
Yeah, always.
But I just love this place, I bored my wife of it. Just thought, this place is amazing. It's got this and that and this and that, this and that, this and that. So we went over. I went over for a holiday for 3.5 weeks. It's meet my uncle and travel around a bit and meet the guy that owns the gym. His name's Francois Duval. He owns a gym called Elite.
Right.
So before we went, he said, right, what we'll do is I'll process your paperwork because it's going to take time. But if you decide not to do it, we can just say no anyway. So he started processing the paperwork before I went. I went over there. We were there a couple of days, jet lag, etc. You know, I got the kids with me and stuff. And it was all right, you know. I mean, I love the place anyway, but, you know, wife and kids, it's all right.
It's all right. I don't know what you're going on about.
But we hired this big motor, massive motor, loved it. And I went to go and see my friend. And he lives out the sticks a little bit. And it's, even for me as well, I just went.
Is Calgary itself quite built up?
The centre?
Yeah.
The centre, yeah. It's quite a lazy town, I call it, you know, like a laid back town. But it's relatively busy, not like we used to, busy like London, you know.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go 20 minutes out, I suppose it's like here when you come out to Kent, it's a hell of a lot slower pace.
Yeah.
This is fast paced compared to them.
Yeah.
You know. But we went to this little suburbs outside and we just went, wow.
Stunning scenery.
Stunning scenery, lakes, wildlife, wild horses. We saw wolves. Didn't see bears. So I knew you were going to say that. So all this wildlife. And then we went to this literally up the mountains. So what actually happened is 5 or 6 years before all of this, I went to Big Bear, which is a place in Los Angeles. A lot of people link it to fight camps and gyms there. They've got a few gyms there. Oscar De La Hoya, Tito Ortiz,
Chuck Liddell, I think used to.
Chuck Liddell, you're right. Gennady Golovkin as well. His trainer's got a gym there. There's a few, and anyway, I went up there, fell in love with the area. It's a big lake, all these big houses. It's just a beautiful place to live.
The altitude's a big point, isn't
altitude,
it?
4,000 feet up. Yeah.
Right.
And then we went to this little gym. And I forgot the name of it, and I walked in there, and big gyms like this one's phenomenal. They're amazing. This gym, really amazing. But I love the little gritty gyms because that's the fight gyms. For me. So I went in there. I went, yeah, I love this gym. They put the heating on, so it was boiling hot. They had a little ring in the corner, a few worn bags. I've forgotten the name of the boxer that we met there. I can't remember. It was WBA World Champion. I can't remember who it was. Just the atmosphere, the smell, everything. I was like, oh, it's amazing. This. Yeah. Anyway, the guy who owned it was some 80-odd-year-old guy, super fit, and he was like, yeah, well, you do all these running things, and I prepare it. And what it is, the fighters come over, and they stay on camp, and they stay in my accommodation. I was like, oh, where's that? And I looked behind, he's got a house behind. And he just told me, anyway, so I thought, imagine that. But when I went with Charlie originally, I had that idea then.
Right.
I'd like to do that one day. But I'd like to find a country that can do it. And I went to Calgary initially. I spoke to Francois about it. And then the idea bloomed and we started getting ideas of each other. Fast forward a few years on, I started going up to the mountains and I went, this is the place where we can do it. This is the place we can do it. So my ultimate goal is I'm going to be working for Francois' Elite Gym there. My ultimate goal in time is to have a active retreat gym. I won't just offer it just to fighters.
Yeah.
I want a place where athletes can come and you've got all the facilities around it.
Yeah.
You've got 20 minutes down the road, you've got Banff, it's a world famous ski resort, Canmore as well. You've got in this area, you've got 3,500 biking and walking trails, which could be for running too.
Yeah.
You've got waterfalls, you've got kayaking, mountain climbing, whitewater rafting. 20 minutes down the road, you've got one of North America's biggest paintball areas. Right. So now I'm thinking, hold on a second, if I find a plot of land here and build something, this could be an active retreat. I could call someone like yourself and say, listen, bring over 10 people. Yeah. It's like a week holiday, and every day you do something different, but there'll be a gym on the site as well.
Retreat,
yeah. But I'd also offer it, because my passion is fighting, of course. Yeah. So I'd offer it to boxers could come over now, stay with us for 4, 5, 6 weeks for a big event, like a fight camp. They bring their training camps over, stay on site. Well, that'd be brilliant. So that's my eventual plan.
That sounds amazing.
And I will do it.
Yeah.
I will do it.
I don't doubt that.
I'll do it. So that is the eventual plan. I think there's a big market for it now. I've seen a lot of places in Portugal and Spain recently from our side of things.
Yeah, we've actually been on one.
Right, where did you go?
So we did one in Spain, in Sotogrande.
Okay. Cool.
So we hosted it.
Like logistically, obviously that's a hell of a lot easier than Canada. However, I just think
loads of people. There's loads of. It's popular now. I mean, that's essentially what Tiger Muay Thai is. Not to the same degree, but that's what people go there for.
It's a big thing at the moment. Fitness. The fitness trade has just boomed ridiculously.
Yeah. You're going on holidays with it as well.
And that's the next thing. Pubs and clubs, and especially in England, I think 60%. I don't know if you know this. 60% of pubs, clubs, and bars are closed in England.
We've talked
over
about
the last 10 years.
Yeah. The generations below us aren't getting smashed out their minds. Like
no, they're not. They're not.
It's not cool
smoking.
Anymore.
Yeah, smoking's not. It's basically banned everywhere.
Yeah.
And the big word is selfie. Self-image is what it means. It's a huge, one of the most used words probably in modern history. Surely. Hashtag selfie. How many people are doing it? Boom. Yeah. And you're self-conscious.
I can't do it.
Jesus,
I just
put old pictures up.
Just look awful.
But my point is, so people are self-conscious, but men are self-conscious now as well. Yeah. So you're seeing a big boom in this. And then, I said there's gyms everywhere here. Now people, instead of going on holiday and getting drinking and getting pissed, I used to do that. Like my parents used to do.
Wellness retreat, yeah.
And now they're going, I want to go away and actually come back and literally be in good shape for my holidays. It's so changed, like the attitude. Before, when we were younger, get fit for the holiday, get pissed for 2 weeks. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Come home wrecked.
Yeah,
Just like, oh, fuck.
Have bad dreams for a week, but how it has changed, isn't it?
A panic attack on the plane.
Yeah. It's terrible, isn't it, that? Jesus.
I think you're right. I mean, we've discussed this before, and like we've looked into variations of that. There's just a massive market for it.
It's a huge market. So so that's the eventual plan is, and there's nothing. Well, it's around the Rockies anyway. There's so much to the eye to look at.
Yeah.
But
so you actually mentioned about having your paperwork done. Are you actually going like there?
So the work
soon?
visa's done. Work permit's done.
Right.
My visa's done. I'm just waiting for the family one next. Yeah, I know. I mean, if they can't come,
yeah.
so family one next.
mumble
But the
serve.
hard bit's done. The system's like not easy. It's not easy country to get into. It took about 9 months just for the work permit, and then afterwards, it's now the visas. I got mine. They take it, but you can't do them. It's really weird. Like the system is, I have to apply for mine, then the family comes afterwards as a bulk. You can't do it together. So you get approved. Right, okay, that's fine. Now your family come in.
Right.
What they doing? Are they working? Not work? So it goes from
I
there.
guess that's to do with like what your works, what you're going to be.
Yeah,
bringing
it's
to
working,
the
and they
table.
ask everything. Which is fine. I like that. I like that. That's absolutely fine. You're an open book. I've got nothing to hide, so there you go.
Yeah.
So you have to do 1 day a week, you say, at this?
No. I'll be there like 5 days a week at elite gym.
Oh, okay, right.
I have to obviously in a contract. I have to do the hours that are given to me.
Yeah.
Which is, I suppose a state, a city of Alberta law, I suppose. And they offer personal lessons as well.
Yeah.
His gym's really nice. It's a really, really nice gym. So like just outside of Calgary. The people of Calgary and Canada in general are really nice anyway.
Yeah.
Very laid back, chilled.
Yeah.
He's got a good few fighters as well, so I'm still involved in that side of things, which is I'm really grateful to him actually. To be fair, him and his wife Betty have done an amazing job of doing all the paperwork behind the scenes and the process, because I'm a nightmare filling forms. I've had to do it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like,
pretty dull, right? We
So
talked about that
boring.
yeah.
before. Yeah.
So a few months.
How exciting!
Yeah.
That's mental. That's a massive
It's a huge
life
move.
change, right?
Yes.
As a family game up
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
What are you going to do with the gym?
Well, so the gym, how it stands is the boys that have been loyal to me, which is Luke, Jamie, Charlie, Ricky, Jack, Kevin, they're going to run it as a team. I'm still going to, because look, I've got to be realistic. It's after 6 months, year, 2 years, I might say this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to just get rid of the gym and sell it. The name's pretty strong still. So those boys are going to be work at a system to run it. I've got another guy called Lee, who's the boxing coach. He's going to be the manager as such, look after bits of paperwork and the monies, etc. But I'll still every morning in Canada, because of the time difference, be doing stuff behind the scenes. Like I can do the paperwork from there. I've got time.
Yeah.
When I'm teaching personal one-to-ones, I've got people in the gym. It's very hard to do anything. When I get back home 8, 9, 10 p.m. at night, it's very hard to do any of that. I'll do it tomorrow. But over there, I'll be able to do it. So the social media I can do.
Yeah.
I can do all the banking. I can do the transfers.
If anything, it might be free up some time.
I can do the road. Yeah, I will be able to do it. Same with the shows. I'll actually have more time to do the shows, like the contracts and sending emails to fighters. Where sometimes I don't send them till 9, 10 p.m. at night. I can actually send them at a decent time and get everything done quicker. Speak to TV people. I can do it, and I'll just dedicate 2-3 hours every morning there. This is what I need to do.
You're not going to be. It's not that far either, is it? Like
9-hour flight.
It's not too bad.
Yeah,
You still
half a day. You're there.
You'll still plan on travelling back for events and stuff like that.
I'll come back for the events, because the events are still. I'm still part of those events, and of course, is to bring the events to Canada.
Right.
Alberta is actually the only state in Canada that allow Muay Thai.
Really?
So I was lucky in that aspect. So yeah, the other ones do, but no elbows, amateur rules. But this is I'll be bringing Muay Thai Grand Prix there. That's for sure. And then the MMA scene is massive because of GSP.
Yeah. Well, I think that's still to date one of their biggest ever stadium events was GSP.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's a big star there. So MMA, they've got gyms here, there, and everywhere. There, the elite gym is actually just a Muay Thai gym, but you'll find a lot of MMA fighters will come over to learn striking.
Yeah.
So and maybe we will bring MTK MMA there to do shows as well. But that's slowly.
Yeah, sure. Nice.
That's a lot of balls to be juggling.
Yeah, it is.
Good, I like it, but you're clearly mega passionate about it. It's good.
You just got to.
Yeah.
I've done it before. You've done it before. You just spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
And you sort of need a PA, but I can't afford a PA.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I have to be all in one.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking I've got a little bit older, got a little bit wiser, made mistakes. Well, this is what that's happening. I put things in boxes. I go to Canada. I've got to dedicate 2 hours every morning, and I've got to learn to just turn it off on the phone.
So easy.
I'm a nightmare for it.
I think it's saying no to things as well, like learning. I think you get that as you get a bit older, don't you?
Yeah,
like, you don't just like yes for everything.
The circles get smaller, you know. So, and that's what I'm going to be doing behind the scenes a lot. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Stressing me out just thinking about it, mate.
Hey, come over and do a podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Oh mate, I'd love to visit them. To Canada.
Yeah.
No, I have got family there as well. Actually.
Have you? What part?
In Ontario.
Oh,
Ontario.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, look, it's the second largest
to be honest, I don't know. It could be.
It's
massive
miles
areas.
away. Yeah, but you know.
So whereabouts is Calgary?
West.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's above Montana, which is America. So.
So ridiculously cold in the winter still.
Yeah. But it has the 4 seasons. You know, the real seasons. Winter's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the summer's nice. Yeah. Very nice. Like warmer than here, effectively. Yeah. You know, they do have the seasons.
At least you know where you stand somewhere like that.
In England, we don't know what's going on.
Cold or warm, right? Whereas here, it could be anything.
You never know what's going on, do you?
No.
It's crazy here.
Yeah, it can get.
It's going to snow this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Listen, it's 4 o'clock, so we should probably get you out of here, mate.
Cool.
Oh, there I go again with my car crash ending. Sorry about that. That podcast was recorded back in May of 2018. It's now being published in November 2018. So apologies on the non-relevance of the timing of that. How I approached this whole podcast was I started recording them before I even had a website and even knew how to launch and whatever else, and figured that out as I went. So I recorded a lot of these early episodes way before I'd even worked out what I had to do to launch. So apologies about that. Like anything worth doing in life, it seems to take longer than you ever hoped. But the fight we spoke about, Charlie Peters went on to win. So congratulations to him and Kieran on that whole win, because that's a massive fight for Charlie to win. So congratulations on that one, and congratulations to Kieran to moving to Canada and getting set up over there and that whole process and next step in his life. And thanks again to Kieran for coming on, and see y'all next time.